eyes off enough cash in time for our small constituency. So we saw what was happening on the ground. However, on a bigger scale, on a presidential scale, President Chamisa only had taken over the party 4 months before, after when Morgan Tsvangirai had passed away. So there was a lot of issues that were not dealt with, especially having agents in every single one of those polling stations. Now, it became impossible for advocate Tabalimpo to argue certain things when we did not have the evidence or the people on the ground to watch and defend those votes. So we thought that we had a good argument by showing the anomalies and the preposterously of the argument that the result that Zek had shown. For example, 16 identical polling stations with identical results. The only reason why the judge threw that argument out is because we didn't subsequently have the V11 for those particular polling stations in hand. All we saw was that it's a ridiculous result. It doesn't make sense. Mathematically, it's impossible for 16 stations with 1,000 people each to all have an identical set of results. We all know that. But now we need to be able to hand on heart show the proof that this is the reason we say this is not the case. So we need people, 3 people at least at each polling station, and those people will need to be looked after. Now, if you've been an election, I know PF looks after these people very well. I'm thinking about chicken in, chicken slice, etc., etc. They can drinks and so forth. But we're not even asking for that. We're asking that our election agents, remember, 2,000 polling stations, we need 6,000 people. And these people are going to be taken from the campaign teams of our various candidates who already exist. People who are vetted and trusted. And these people are going to be trained. And we need 6,000 of those people to have meals for at least 72 hours. Like I said, the election material arrives a day before, at least, sometimes 2 days before. And until the election material has been counted, sealed, and taken to ZEC. So we're talking about the 27th. So we're looking from the 25th to the 27th, including election. Getting out the vote is the easy part. Defending this vote is going to be the hard part. Now, to feed these people, we're looking at about $5 each, roughly. This is an extrapolation. We can probably bring it down, but we're talking about a supper, a breakfast, a lunch, another supper, another breakfast. So that's 5 meals. So we're talking about $1 a meal per person. And then we're looking at airtime for each one of the agents who are there. Now, someone did say to me, but can't we just get airtime for one of the agents at each polling station? We don't know what can happen. Phones can break, batteries can run out. So we're hoping that each polling agent gets some airtime to be able to communicate with the control center. So we're looking at about $5 again per polling agent. Now, those of you already know that I'm already talking about $60,000. This is how crazy it is. I'm already talking about $60,000. Okay, this is like I said, 6,000 people giving them 5 meals at that's $1 a meal. We're talking at $30,000, and giving $5 airtime to 6,000 people, that's going to be about $30,000, right? Now, if we give them all stationery worth $1 each, so we're talking ballpoint pens, a counter book or something, $1 each. We're talking about another $6,000. And then you say $3 to transportation, getting to and from the station, the polling station, or just so that they got some free movement. So if you give them $3 each, you're adding another 18,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're like me, but these numbers are staggering. They're absolutely staggering if you think about it. But now, if you look at them individually, giving somebody $1 per meal is not outrageous. Giving somebody $5 to defend the vote is not outrageous, right? Giving somebody $1 worth of pens and pencils, etc., to be able to have stationery for their day is not a lot of money in isolation. But the compound effect is that it's a huge amount of money that everybody has to raise. Okay, so does some of this money already exist? Well, I no. The problem is, normally a political party will be funding this using national coffers. The taxpayer pays for the opposition to be able to campaign as well, right? And then the opposition can also raise extra funds. But all the money that was due Nelson Chamisa and the team, the CCC team, when they were in DCA, was given to Douglas Monzo, which is why they don't seem to care about polling agents and stuff. We don't see them fundraising or anything because they have a slush fund. President Chamisa and his team don't, and they are highly reliant on the people like yourselves and myself to make sure that we can mobilize enough resources for this particular for this party to be able to contest in this next election. Okay, so now I've dealt with what each agent needs. Now, what does each polling station need? I mean, on a one-to-one basis, there's 2,000 polling stations. We're looking at each polling station at least having one torch. Now you know how Zesta works. You know how things, my Getty can go out, and we don't want to take any chances. So let's say we give them all a torch at $2 each, and that's a cheap Chinese torch with some batteries. That's $2. That's another $4,000 that we have to find. And if we're looking for a counter book, exercise books, etc., that's another $2 each, right? So another $4,000. Then we need fuel because you need your election agents, your super agents to be able to drive up and down, check on things, see how people are doing. Somebody gets hurt, they need to be taken to a hospital, etc., etc. So on a pure contingency level, you want 20 liters of fuel per polling station. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another $67,000. Now, shit. I mean, when I was talking to the leadership today and going through these numbers, they're staggering. And I was thinking, geez, guys, we should have started this a year ago. But we don't have a year, right? We don't have a year. We only have each other and we only have 10 days. If I look at my timer right now, 10 days, 11 hours, and 30 minutes. That's what we have. And if we do not defend this vote, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't, we might as well just give up now because we've proved it before. Right? We've proved it before that not being able to count the vote and defend the vote can be catastrophic if you want to say that the election result is fraudulent. Right? We know that now, and this is something that we cannot avoid anymore as a citizenry. If we want to have a free and fair election, it's not going to be given to us on a platter. We're going to have to fund it ourselves, and we're going to have to give ourselves our own time, our own energy to make sure that this happens. Now, on top of what the polling stations need is for fuel, etc., we're going to need a control center. We're going to need laptops. So we don't even want to buy the laptops. We're going to need you guys to come with your laptop if you can. Sit down and help data crunch and put in numbers into a spreadsheet, into a form that we'll put into a populated app or some sort that we're working on. But we're going to have to borrow as many of these computers as possible. We're looking about 20 of those. Stationery is going to be needed. So we're going to print a big map of Zim and actually be able to have a control center. Volunteers are going to need transport money. Generators are going to be needed on site with a generator at least in the control command center, and about 100 liters of fuel, some airtime, and obviously a fiber connection. So anyway, this is the big picture. This is the dream budget. If we can get 160K, we can defend this vote for these particular 2,000 polling stations. This is merely, ladies and gentlemen, I swear to God, this is merely a macrocosm of what is needed in 2023. Because in 2023, you don't have 2,000 polling stations anymore. You now have 36,000 polling stations. It goes up exponentially, and this budget becomes nothing when you talk about 2023. And we're gonna have to find the cash, guys, if we want to be able to defend this vote. So this is the budget that was bashed through Mr. Mayor, Mr. Makone, and the team. And they came to me this morning and said, guys, we're going to have to conscientize the citizens and say, this is how much it's going to cost. If you guys demand that we have drones at every station, then shit, how are we going to find 2,000 drones? It's impossible. We don't even want drones, guys. We just want pens. So we've broken up the opportunity to give to the citizenry into a few different formats. Number one, you can give cash. If you're in the diaspora, use the link, kofi.com/CCC fund. That's an easy way if you want to give cash over and you're not able to be on the ground. If you're local in Zim, we've given you other options because people keep asking, how do I give when I'm in Zim? The first thing you can do is register with our airtime app, where we would like on the 25th, we're going to give you the numbers of the people you pledge to give airtime, and we're going to have to trust each other. So if you say I'm going to give 3 agents airtime of $1,000, On the day, we're going to send you an automatic message, and that message is going to give you the people you're sending the airtime to. And we're hoping that you guys are faithful when you pledge to give airtime, because those people will need that airtime to be able to make calls and submit data to the center. Okay. So if you're local, you can submit to the airtime pledges, and that's a quick form that you can fill, and then on the day it's going to be automated. We're going to pair you up with the right networks, etc., and you can send airtime. The second thing you can do is you can drop off stuff to 217 Samora Michelle in Harare in Belvedere. Now, we're talking about stuff that is sealed, like tinned food. We don't want hoop food, we don't want to chair food, ice cream and stuff. No, we don't want none of that. We literally want tinned, untampered with food, like tinned foods. Also, if you got like things like exercise books, mabilo, ever sharp pens that work, that kind of stuff will be very helpful. Candles for areas that don't have mageti, and batteries for torches, and also if you have torches, like an old torch, or you can buy a cheap torch somewhere in the batteries. Those are the kind of things we're hoping Zimbabweans, locally citizens on the ground, can drop off at 217 Samora. And all these details are on my timeline. And also, if you're local, you can also volunteer your time. So, like we said, people who are able to assist, smart people who can assist with number crunching, adding stuff into forms, into the app, for the purpose of us having a parallel tabulation. We need to be able to count how many people are coming to each polling station. We want to count, we want the V11s uploaded. We want to be able to know ahead of time, and we want to have strong integrity of our information and gathering. Now, this is a great time, it's a great challenge for us as a generation to put some of our bullshit problems aside. A lot of us don't like each other. I mean, if you've been on the timeline this week, you've heard all sorts of things about me also. Like, I think I've sworn and called people's mothers all sorts of things. We humans, there's a lot of problems. But I think nothing else matters for the time being. As far as our differences, I think we need to put those aside periodically so we can focus on the task at hand. And that task is very huge. We're going to need to raise 160 grand to get our dream budget. Now, if you ask me, Kuda, what can we shave off this budget so that we can proceed? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I have no idea what can go. I mean, the command center go? Do we get rid of some of the agents? I mean, can one person manage one polling station for 3-4 days without sleep, without food, without swapping with somebody else, without support? I don't know. All I know is that the budget that we've been presented is extremely reasonable on an individual basis. But when you look at it in one big gulp, it looks insurmountable. But one thing I know, guys, is that this is possible. And it's not even possible in a crazy way. It's possible if we all stick together and we all put something in. If it's energy, if it's time, if it's effort, if it's expertise, if it's some old exercise books you have at home which can be used, if it's pens, if it's candles, if it's batteries, and if it's cash, all these things can make a big difference in the long run. So, look, I've spoken enough. If anyone has any questions, I'm very happy to take as many questions as possible. I know the mayor is here at the moment. I was hoping that Mr. Makoni would also be on here, but he hasn't been able to. But any questions you have, let me know. Anything that you think can be shaved off or disappear, let me know. I mean, this is now time for everybody to work together. We're doing this wide in the open. The enemy is listening. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to do anything clandestine. All we're trying to do is tabulate and protect the vote, whichever way it goes. Right? Then we're doing this for everybody. We're doing this for everybody. So thank you, co-host. Over to you.
Thank you, my brother Kuda. Thank you. Basically, what my brother Kuda is saying here, we need all hands on the deck. I think earlier when we were talking, we were just talking about the elections where the mayor was speaking. I'm going to go back to you, Mayor, and ask you to share the issue of fundraiser that we are looking at. Can we pin the fundraiser on the space, please? On the space. Mayor, if you can hear me, could you unmute so that we can share the challenges of the 26 by-election?
Sorry, I'm so old. I don't even know how to pin. Sorry. How do you pin?
How do you, I,
I'm 43, dude. Sorry.
I'll give you the instruction. Kuda, I'll give you the instruction. I'll send
Cheers,
you
bro.
a
Cheers,
TM
bro. Cheers.
instruction. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.
Mayor, over to you.
All right. Thank you. I hope I'll be heard a bit better. You see, an election is basically a logistic operation. It's basically you get the vote, it's like you deposit into the bank, you protect the vote, you count it, and you get your value. So it's just that. So you need to be in place. You need to have your agents in place. You need to monitor a dubious referee like Zach. You need to then be able to count, and you have to remain vigilant all the time. You know, Dexter and Duna got in because somebody just announced the wrong result. So you've got even to watch the mouth of the person who is supposed to announce the results. You've got to know where they are most of the time. You've got to stop them before they announce the wrong result, before they write anything. So it's something that has to be monitored very, very carefully. And it costs money to have people who are monitoring. The good thing is that we have people who are willing to be volunteers on the basis that we are able to provide food for them, communications, a torch, a candle, for them to look at the votes, be able to count it at every polling station. Now, these people are very key because they are very important and they are an integral part of the voting process. And it costs money to move them from point A to point B. And you need to protect them because if they have to look for food for themselves, or worse, they start eating the food of the opponent, it becomes problematic because you then don't know how vigilant they are, whether they are now being compromised. They need to be able to be comfortable enough to watch the vote. And what we have is that we have a bankable product. You can see the love that people have for President Lesson Chamisa. You can see the crowds that are coming. You can see that they are very, very much interested. So how do we protect the harvest? It's like rains have come and you've got a maize field. How do you protect the harvest? And that is what we are doing. And we've put out a modest budget in the sense that it is talking about the barest minimum figures. And my thinking and in our discussions with Koda is that people need to understand when you say you are protecting the vote, that it is something that we have to actively contribute towards using and to dig deep into our pockets. But as a collective, I have a feeling that we can do it. We have been able to support the rallies. They've produced a carnival atmosphere. They've produced an X factor that has been missing from the rallies. We have produced a family event, even where the police are. It's been a family event, a carnival atmosphere, an explosion of yellow, an explosion of happiness, and an explosion of anticipation. So we owe it to those people to be able to protect the vote once they express it. And when we look at the budget, it's talking about things like food, things like pens, things like a plan book to record the complaints, things like airtime to be able to send the results to the command center, and we need that. We need that's an integral part to be able to have your own result and compare it with what ZEC is producing. And as a political party, if you've planned your things and as an organization, you will have a result faster than ZEC, and you'll be able to correct the ZEC result in real time. And that is what we ought to be doing, and that is what we are going to do, and that is why we need the support, and we need to fundraise like crazy in the next 10 days, because we need about 100 and something, 160,000, and I believe that we can do it. Zimbabweans can do it. They've done it before on many other issues, and this one should be able to do it. And this will give us a test run on how we are going to be able to defend the vote from in 2023. You remember we're on zero funding. They took all the funding from us. You can't get funding from foreigners. So you need to rely on our own. None but ourselves will be able to fund this whole process.
You're not audible, Mayor. I think maybe you're far away from the router.
No, I think he's finished. He was waiting for you to take over now.
Thank you very much. I've pinned up the link to the fundraiser. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the ones that are going to be requesting the mic to speak, I know people are going to be asking questions, but if it's not too much to ask, my heart, ask that we facilitate or we capacitate our movement. And how do we capacitate? I think that those who are able to dig down in their pockets, we can start the fundraiser going. We are happy to take pledges if you are not able to do anything today, and then we can follow up. But those who are able to do something today, we will be so grateful that our fundraiser will start with a bang. I think as we close the space later on, we will give people an indication of how much each and every person would have donated. But if I am just going to be a little bit, if I'm to go back to the budget here, I'm going to look at the items that we are talking about. I think Kuda went through the items there. And if you go on the link, you actually be able to see some of the information which we shared. We are looking at 6,000 election agents, which basically means when we look at just food, we are looking at about $30,000 for those 6,000 agents for the days that they are going to be working in terms of making sure they will be our eyes on the board. They will be our ears. They will be our everything. We are literally saying to those agents, good people, please you are the eyes of Zimbabwe. Whether you are in Zimbabwe, whether you are in the diaspora, they are the people that are going to be standing up for us. So I think that if we do our bit and make sure we also capacitate them with just the food, the airtime that they require, I think that will go a long way. Those who can do the maths, if you multiply 6K times 72 hours times 5, it gives us 30,000. I know people are going to be asking, those figures. So I think I might as well just share them so that at least, if you are then trying to do the calculations, you will get to do the calculations and you see how we get that figure of 159,000. The 6K agents airtime times $5 per person, that brings us again to 30,000. If we then look at the 6K agents, we're looking at stationery. And when we are talking of the stationery, we are looking at things like books, we are looking at pens, and just the agent stationery for one agent, we are looking at 6,000. And then we look at the transportation. These are the basic figures that we worked here on. For the 6K agents times 3 per unit, we are looking at 18,000. Now, for the polling station torch, each polling station, we've got 2,000 polling stations, and each we need to have a torch at each polling station. Basically, we are saying we've got 3 agents at each polling station, but one agent is going to be having the torch, and that amount of money is getting to 4,000. Now, if we are then going to look at fuel per polling station, we are looking at 20 liters. And 20 liters times 2,000 stations, that's going to give us 67,000. And these monies, when we talk of a polling station and we are looking at the number of polling stations, the figures really do add up. And then we're talking of the control center, which is going to be manned for 7 days there. We are looking at $630 there. We also looking for laptops. Those who are able to donate laptops, please, 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 please. We need about 20 laptops. And we haven't put a figure on the laptops because we are looking forward to people donating those laptops. If we go to refreshments, we are talking of drinks and water, you name it. Again, that's going to equate to about $700. These are purely basic figures where people are going to get water, going to be delivered by those who are going to be manning those polling stations. And this has come up as a result of previous experience from what's been done. And now we've got a plan of action now to what we are going to do. Then we're looking at volunteer transport. 20 volunteers, we're looking at $500. Fuel for the generator, about 100 liters. That's for the command center. We're looking for 167. Then the fiber optic cable, that's going to provide us the internet to our command center. We are also looking at about 500 there. We haven't put any pricing at all for the software. So we basically bundled the very, very basics in terms of what we require. And those basics have come up to those figures. Now, I know there are people with money. And if you are able to say, you know what, I think this item, I can cover it just like that, happy days. We are looking for that. We are looking for people with great minds or people who can volunteer their time, their professionality, their experience of doing a lot of things out there. But more so, we are looking for resources that will resource our function or our 26 by-elections. Ladies and gentlemen, these by-elections are going to be a test for 2023. And I think that if we are to go in here in full force to say, you know what, if this is going to be a test, we want to pass that test, then we can start talking. I'm going to start allowing speakers to speak, but it would be good to tell me that you are coming on board and this is what you have donated and you want to speak to either myself, Kuda, the mayor, and that would be brilliant. Thank you very much. We've got Change Radio here, our official radio station. Would you like to unmute and speak to us? Who's behind, and so we can hear who's behind the station?
Hi, good evening. It's Patricia Shinyoka here, behind Change Radio today. So I'm a presenter on Change Radio. I was actually in the process of going to donate and then I had to come out because I thought, if I'm trying to do two things at the same time, speak and donate, I might get cut off. But I'll go when I finish speaking. I just first of all wanted to start off by saying, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to all of the listeners and also to the mayor and Kuda Msasiwa, and to just say thank you so much for everything that you are doing. It's so commendable. you are. He called for citizens to act and to be responsible for achieving the change that we all want to see. In order for Zimbabwe to have a new leadership, in order for 2023 to bring hope to the people that have suffered for the last 42 years, because that's what's happened, suffered for the last 42 years, is that we all need to do something. And now I think they're probably over 300 to 500 people. We don't always see everyone on here, but if people donated $100, how much money would we make just by being on here? Because I think that's the mindset we all need to have, is that we need to do something. We need to put our hands in the pocket. We need to fund our freedom. This is our Chimrenga. And this is how we are fighting this Chimrenga. I was speaking on another space the other day, and I was saying that we're not going to go back to Mozambique like what happened in the 70s. But this is how we are fighting it, and we are also fighting it in the ballot box. And so we fund it, we go to the ballot box, we cast our X on the CCC leaders, and then we protect and defend those votes. So that's critical to know. The other thing I really liked about what Kuda said was, giving in kind. I am going to organize people in Zimbabwe to give. So that address, if it could be pinned, please, because I've actually forgotten it. So Kuda, if you could remind us of that address. And we can go and ask our friends, our communities in Zimbabwe to package some of those tinned foods and donate them. So that will go a long way to feed the election agents and all those that will be manning the polling stations. So I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to make my donation, and then I'll come back a bit later on. Thank you so much.
Thank you there, Patricia. Thank you there on Change Radio. Let's follow Change Radio, ladies and gentlemen. They are one of the wings that give us updates, current affairs, politics, and things that is happening in Zimbabwe and out here in diaspora. So thank you for the work that you are doing. I'm going to go to Mambo Sose. Mambo Sose, would you like to unmute and speak? I think there is an issue that Patricia raised about donations. We probably would ask the mayor to come in and tell us where these donations are going to be going, so that we keep in sync. Back to you, Mambo Sose.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, co-host, and everyone here present. Much respect to our mayor, Mayor of Harare, and Kuda. Thank you so much for initiating this project. We definitely need to do something. That's exactly what President Chamisa was talking about in one of his addresses, when he was saying, wherever you are, do something. If you are a vendor, do something. You are in the United Kingdom, do something. You are in America, do something. You are a youth, do something. You just have to do something if you want to see change in Zimbabwe. And I think everyone here is prepared to do that. Like Mr. Ali has said, this election is penultimate. It's important, and it's crucial that we win it. Not only win back the constituencies that we used to have, but we also have to wrestle or grab 3 or 4 constituencies that we initially didn't have. And that's the reason why you saw President Chamisa in Cholocho yesterday, and he explained the same thing. So for us to win, we need to all that Zek, he has printed the ballot box, and we don't even know what they're doing. They've already, printed more ballot papers than the papers that are needed at certain polling stations. And the only way we can counter that, of course, there will be measures that will be taken. But the other way we can do as citizens is to make sure that we register to vote, and we are there en masse. We on 26 March voting and encouraging our folks in Zimbabwe to turn up in large numbers so that we go and vote. But another sure way of making sure that we prevent rigging is having eyes and boots on the ground. We need polling agents at each and agents. You don't want a hungry polling agent who will be tempted by, a loaf of bread or a drink or, $10 or $20, from our counterparts. We don't want that. We can afford to feed our people. We can afford to give them something, at least something. They're already volunteering. I believe all we are doing is to give them the things that they need for them to be able to do, the job that they are supposed to be doing. So please, let's support this fundraiser. Let's do the best that we can. I am going to, when I drop, I'm gonna put in my $100 right away. I'm just impressed, folks, with the level of service and sacrifice that I'm seeing from people in the diaspora. I was speaking to Ali a few days ago, and he was telling me that, Chief, I every month to put into these fundraisers and to support the party. And I was speaking to another nurse here in the USA, and she was telling me another, different story, but very, encouraging, very motivating, saying, Chief, I have to take an extra shift every month, and that money that I take, I get from the extra shifts, I put it in the struggle. My friend, the chairman for a branch in Australia, he has to do overtime for him to be able to, fund all the requests that are coming, because of our struggle. And I said, this is it. This is where we should be. And we need more people that are sacrificing for that. Sacrifice your beer, sacrifice your whiskey. Another friend of mine was telling me that he usually buys a bottle of whiskey every month. Now he has stopped because he's putting that money in the struggle. So let's all do that. Let's sacrifice, do away with that McDonald's, do away with that hairdo. You can even do away with a vacation. Some of us have not gone for a vacation for more than 3 years because we want this struggle finished. So let us do something, guys, like the president has said, and we'll see the results after 26 March. We want to be celebrating, and you also want to be celebrating, knowing that you did something, you contributed something to this. But after 26 March, which is a curtain raiser, we should all be gathering together in 2023 and celebrating our president, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, in the State House. I'll drop and I'll put in my $100, Ali. Thank you so much for the time.
Chief, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I kindly ask everyone on the space to please retweet the space so that those who are not aware of the space can also get to know. You never know. People can then come on board and be able to help. And also just to clarify one or two things. I want to acknowledge my fellow citizens that I work with in fundraising and different fundraisers. We need all hands on the deck, ladies and gentlemen, and let's not confuse this election and the 2023. We are looking at something that is required in the next 10 days, and let's focus on that one. And I'm not saying let's lose focus on what we are also doing on the guard our elections for 2023, because we need all hands on the deck, and I thank you for that. I think we've lost the mayor there again. Let's see if we can add you back. Donations that people may have, whether it's tinned food or Mayor, I was just saying, I'm going to ask you to probably talk about the donation that people might have. And I think Kuda highlighted the fact that tinned food is probably the best that we could request, because there is nothing. It's locked. There's nothing that could be tempered with when it's tinned food. So over to you, Mayor.
I've lost you a bit, but if you're talking about tinned food, now that's okay. We just didn't want to talk about food donations. As you know, food can easily be tampered with, but it doesn't mean if somebody buys from a reputable shop, like if you buy from a reputable miller some tons of maize, then that's okay, because we're going to buy from there anyway. We just wanted to avoid the situation where you get a contaminated donation. But if that's the uh, hello.
CC, please, can you wait? The mayor is speaking. We'll give you your chance to speak. We don't want people that will speak over others. Let's respect those who are speaking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we can do that. What you can bring is on the address. I think it's 217 Samora Machel. You'll find the secretary there who will record what you have brought and also receive what you have brought. So 217 Samora Machel, it's an office. So there will be a secretary during working hours from now until the elections. So that then will deal with that situation. I want to thank those who have been donating. Thank you so much. We need more of those, and we need to retweet this space. We need to advertise it. We need to be able to do something tangible, at the very least, about these elections. And I want to thank the donations that have come in, and also I want to thank the dedication with some of our donors. We have a list. Kuda will correct me if I'm wrong. We have an emailing list now of 750, above 750 individuals that have been faithful and donating figures towards this. And we are going to probably give an example of a citizen movement that is funded by the citizens themselves. And I think if we can do more of that, we should be able to then make a difference that is tangible on the ground.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got some exciting news here. There is somebody, they want to remain anonymous. They have donated 100 chickens. I think the cost for those chickens is equivalent to $700 for the polling agencies. So I want to thank you, the anonymous donor, for such a huge, humongous donation. Ladies and gentlemen, Thank you very much. I'm not too sure which part of the world you are. Fundraiser that we are doing, it's a minimum fundraiser. We are looking at the bare minimum. Most of the things have not been included. We have not included, for instance, things like the campaign material, T-shirts, you name it. We have not included posters. There are so many things that we have not included, taking into consideration that we've got other people who will be doing something, but we wanted this to be nearer to realistic as we possibly can. That's why. So whoever is doing their fundraiser out there, we still require hands on the deck because this is bigger than what we all think it is. Thank you, my sister. I think we go to the next one is energetic. Energetic, would you like to unmute?
Okay. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes. If the Honorable Mayor is still there, good evening to you. If Mr. Kuda is still there, good evening to you. Appreciate the job that you guys are doing. I've just got two things to talk about. I'm one who is very much for support, and I'll not stop supporting. I got one question, which is the contribution. So we've got citizens called to act with a lot of money in their bank at the moment. Can we not take that money and we'll then replace the money since we need this money urgently? If I can get an answer. And then number two, I will definitely contribute. And thanks very much, guys. Let's keep up the positivity.
Thank you very much, brother Energetic. I think the question that you have just asked is a very, very good question. But I think on the ethics of fundraising, if you are fundraising for something that you are saying is 2023, and you then want to take that money and put it on the 2022, it probably will end up getting people into trouble with the platforms that we use to fundraise because we are taking money for something else and put it for something else. That is the answer that I could give you. If there's anybody who can give me a better answer or an answer there, I think I would wait to hear that. But much appreciated for your donation, my brother.
Thank you. I was just asking because it's something we've done before. It's a matter of withdrawing and replacing the money. But it's okay, guys. I will definitely do as promised, as usual. And thanks, guys. And I hope you all we all reach the goal as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ali, 1 minute to just.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Energetic, thank you very much for your point. And I think your suggestion mirrors some of the frustration people like myself have been screaming at the top of my head since we started resource mobilization. We must put our hands up and say there has been a disorganized and a disjointed way that we've been moving about this particular fundraising for the movement. Now, if you guys saw Honorable David Coulthard the other day said, look, we're 10 days out. We should not stifle anybody else's efforts. We should not stop anything at the moment. However, we have been promised by the leadership, and I hope this is absolutely gospel truth, that after the by-election, there will be a moment to reflect, dissect, and consolidate some of these efforts so that all of us know what we are doing, so that we all know where we are going, and we all know that it's all going to one place. Now, on our funds, we've tried to be very, very transparent, emailing our patrons, emailing our donors, telling them what the money's gone, etc., etc. However, I'm also a donor to other platforms. I've also donated to the car, I've donated to a funeral, I've donated to a few things. And I don't know what the hell happened to my money. And that's frustrating, genuinely frustrating. And I know why people are so, because all of you guys are seeing multiple links Ingapana you defend the vote. I wait after 60,000, after 20,000. There's so many things going on. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as much as I have personally tried on an individual level, I think even with the leadership to try and consolidate everybody to work together at this particular point is not necessarily as easy as it sounds. First of all, could CIO, who enabler, what. So one people's got this beef, and other people got this beef. There's so much fragmentation. It's not like it's a unified, so like it's a unified, homogeneous team of people doing this, right? And I wish they was, right? Today, single-handedly, you're doing a bunch of things that a lot of people would make so much easier, like with so much lighter work. It's you shut that case. So I am hoping, in the next, after the by-elections will be finished, and we're at the finishing line for this by-election, there will be a more coordinated, more condensed, or transparent way for us to all work together. And I would love a situation where I don't actually have to leave my business and start. I would love to contribute expertise and move in and out and seeing that there's something crazy. So please forgive the part. It's still very new. Not everything is in order. Apana kana equal cash line, apana one money line. And that's all I can say right now. I'm sorry. Let's do the best we can for now. We have 10 days to go. Let's push as hard as we can. But then after this, let's look at our leadership in the eyes and tell them we want better. We deserve better, damn it. Like we don't want this chibububu in my womb. We want a serious, cohesive place. I want to pay my monthly subscription as a member. Those who are voting rights, I'm going to so. And this is that's what we want. So please forgive this. I mean, I know sometimes these things are frustrating, and I just wanted also to be honest and say, I stand with you on that. Why are we running around trying to look for cash right now when there's been other cash raised for a car? But it doesn't work like that, sadly. I know GoFundMe would not approve of that, and I know certain other platforms wouldn't as well. So let's do what we can for now. But I appreciate everybody who's been giving so far.
Thank you, my brother Kuda. Yeah. I hope you are answered there, my brother Energetic.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm answered, and I'll stay focused.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ali, can I just jump in on the other question by our sister?
Go ahead.
Just a minute.
Go ahead.
Yes. The issue of twinning. Yeah, the issue of twinning that was raised by my sister there, it's a very important question, and I thought we should address it. Over 50 branches in the diaspora or external assemblies were twinned with constituencies and wards in Zimbabwe. But when we were twinned, we were given specific instructions to help with flyers, posters, and food for those that were doing door-to-door campaigns. And here in North America, we set a target for our 12 branches that were twinned, and all of them were required to raise $1,000. And I'm glad to say they all did that. So we raised a total of $12,000 that went towards posters, flyers, and food for those that were doing door campaigns, and a few other things. So that money is already exhausted. So the same candidates are still needing money for their polling agents. But it was a good question that you raised it. But
we lost you there, Chief. Thank you. I hope you had finished your contribution. Our next speaker will be Tawanda. Sorry, Chief, we lost you, I think, just before you wrap up. Tawanda, would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, go ahead.
Okay, thanks so much. I just want to thank Kuda and team for the good work, guys, we are doing. I know it's a very difficult and in a time material to Shoma. And, like you say, most of the things I think we'll do post-mortem after the by-elections so that we can see how can we mobilize our resources at a center stage. But some of the quickest things to do here is Let's assume we are having a rally in Bait Bridge, or let's assume this Saturday in Mutare we've got a rally. Can we not have a screen which keeps on popping up, reminding people to send money to EcoCash to donate via all those links, not only on WhatsApp? Because here, when we're having a rally, let's say on Monday, we are probably having more than 5,000 plus people. If you put an EcoCash line and say every little helps, guys, let's contribute. Because you are having probably around 10,000 or 7,000 people from the diaspora who are viewing. So if you have got that screen, which you don't, Malawi, and then there is a screen which is popping up, reminding people, encouraging people to donate. You find that during that session you can raise more money rather than just wait on my messages. They attention pass through WhatsApp and Facebook and Twitter. That's my contribution. I know we have got lots of things to contribute.
Thank you so much, my brother. What you have said means actually a lot. But I think the situation that we are in the moment, like you had, we don't even have an EcoCash line. We don't even have a bank account in Zimbabwe at the moment. So I think that once we are more organized, the party has put all the processes in place, things are going to be much, much, much better. But for now, let's retweet, let's copy the links, let's share it with our friends, let's retweet our space, and let's do what we can to make this thing happen. Our next speaker is Pep.
Can you contribute quickly, my brother?
Oh, come in.
I think it's important sometimes for volunteers like me who have sometimes been close to the core fire to give people actual perspective about what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that today, if you call President Chamisa's phone, he answers it himself. If you call SG Wendy, he answers it himself. There isn't a secretariat. There isn't a team who have this house in the civil service to help this party at the moment. You know, they literally is no room full of young volunteers working on graphics. Everything that you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is people like you and me just volunteering at this particular point. So, for example, the point here would be, why don't we have pop-up screens on the rallies and so forth? The party does not even have cameras of its own. We're actually relying on Tech TV, Techno TV, Nana Slide TV. Those are the guys who are coming in to broadcast these things. And we're going to have to understand that after the election, we're going to have to sit down and really do a post-mortem and understand, how do we professionalize this party? You know, how do we give broadcasting houses a proper screen instead of letting a million reporters stand in front of the president, in front of the faithful who have come to see him? You know, how do we? Who is going to assist in organizing the EcoCash number? I mean, I don't even know if David Coulthard can come to Harare to equal to sort out a line at the moment, right? So there's a lot of things that we have to take into consideration as citizens right now, and be sensitive to know that a lot of what's happening is not easy for the leadership at the moment. I know how tired President Chamisa must be right now, because he's been in cars on highways and he has to give us the same energy at every single rally. And remember, when he comes off, he has to answer his own phone again. You know, it's not like he has 4 PAs and all these things. So it is a citizen movement from the ground up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not lie to each other. This is not anything fancy yet. And we are going to have to build something formidable and fancy and professional and everything. So when you're calling in today and you're giving us suggestions, please remember that the next question I'm going to ask is, can you do it? So when someone says, could I tip a Excel spreadsheet in my polling station, I'll say, well, Zach gave us a PDF, you see the editable on their website. Can you do it? Can you grab it and then convert it to an Excel? Because if I add it to my list of things, on top of that, I'm trying to run the farm, I'm trying to do my business, it's like impossible. We're all going to have to now, there's so many other little things that we're all going to have to start agreeing to do. And in fact, after the by-election, I don't believe we should stop fundraising, because remember, the security team needs a salary. Right now, these are volunteers. People who are carrying, who are driving the president's car, everyone's a volunteer, guys. There is no money. So we have to really think about some of these things. And I tell you this, when I was in Bulawayo with the faithful and the team that was then moved, Some of these guys are sleeping in cars. Some of the guys didn't sleep at all. Some of the guys are sleeping by the stage. It's really a citizens movement that has got no funding at the moment and really deserves some support from the citizenry, because what has happened is unfair. And I'm a big advocate of a strong, a strong opposition that's a government in waiting that can actually lead us into the promised land. And this is going to take our energy, our time, not just our money, our energy, our time. If you know people who are good at stuff, people who are sitting, if we have a 95 unemployment rate, we want more of those 95% people coming and volunteering for change, because that's what we need. We need expertise. We need mathematicians, statisticians, people who can do the Pacheli thing on the ground. Like, this is a lot of work to do, guys. So I just as a word of encouragement, remember what you're dealing with when you're talking, when you're giving suggestions. Thanks.
That is passionate Kuda talking about the experience that he's facing, seeing live. And it's good that we've got people that are seeing things happening on this platform, because it's unlike me. I'm talking in the comfort of my own home. I'm not sleeping in the car a day before the rally or a day after rally, and I'm not driving 103, 4, 500 kilometers going to those rallies. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge as citizens, and I'm grateful that all those who are here tonight, or today, this afternoon, or this morning, you can hear the challenge that our party has, our Triple C, and it's up to you. If you want these things to work, it is up to you to do something about the situation that we face. I think Machuma has been dropping quite a lot. Machuma, would you like to unmute and speak, my sister?
Yeah, thank you, Washington. I'm a bit confused here because I remember I've been on Spaces and I know there is some fundraiser going on. Zvakaitwa zvekutwina is I think there is something of that sort going on. So I don't you think Washington, you should communicate with other people before we start another fundraiser, because this is just 10 days before elections, and don't you think it's a bit too late to raise mari iri kunyatsoiwa? Because I know there are people in diaspora, diaspora branches akaraisa mari akatwina nekune by elections ikokoko. So I think communication is one thing that is lacking here. I think you should communicate with whoever is responsible, whoever is in charge with whatever that is going on here, because I know there's mari yakaraiswa, mari itoripo yakaraiswa. So I think you should talk to people, because now we will talk to MDC kuti zvinoita zvisina transparency mukati, because I'm confused, like, really, because I know there is call to act it will contribute towards presidential elections, 2023 elections, and these by-elections, I don't know if a call to act has nothing to do with these by-elections, but if people are contributing towards the cause, then imari ndo mari yacho iri kuraiswa iyoyo. I don't know if I'm making sense, and I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Machuma. I think you heard Mamurusere responding to the very same question that my brother, one of my brothers, asked in relations to that. And I don't know whether you want him to sort of like reiterate that, so that at least you can get to understand where we are in that regards.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Washington. Maybe because I was having connection problems, I missed out that one. If it was, no.
Yeah.
I think I'm also asking for other people that are confused as me to understand what's.
Yeah, no, that
really
that has been shared. Yeah, I mean, basically, you see, what we are requiring right now is for the operations on the day, right? The branches, or the branches that were contributing towards things like flyers, leaflets, probably T-shirts that would have been required, and most of those have been done, but not every area has been covered to that effect. Some areas, they don't even have a flyer as we speak right now. So there is so much to do that we are doing this fundraiser just to make sure we've got our. Sorry, I think someone is speaking there. we are doing this fundraiser to make sure that our uh, agents are going to be resourced. They're going to have food, something to eat, torches, uh, data. There's going to be fuel. There's going to be stationery, books, pens for people to be able to, to write something. This is what we are fundraising. So I know there is a lot that's been going on out there, and the issue of bringing the coordination is what we are working on. But it probably could be a bit too late to perhaps start going to branches and say, oh, could you tell us this, could you tell us this, could you tell us this. The work that they have been doing or that they have done is not the same as what we are doing at the moment. So they have done their bit, we are now doing our bit. As you know, everything just came just down flying like that. And I know we can look at ways of saying, oh, we are doing all this, we are doing these are things that we have to do, unfortunately, for our party, because we haven't got anything.
Okay, thank you, Washington. On that note, I was on a space where there is a Buhera something West Buhera North, and people they don't even know about it, and the candidate there asked kutozikana kuti zviri kufamba sei, and they're saying Dagi is the stronghold ikoko zvokuti that seat anzi hakuna kana chiriko kana flyer kana poster kana chi, not even one thing, but kuna Dagi anzi ikoko ku Dagi anogona kuti tora seat mukabata
central, and I can tell you that because I've done the campaign in Mount Pleasant before for the my campaign with independence. I know how much cash it takes to run a campaign. To get 500 flyers in Zimbabwe, they'll be charging you $2 per flyer, so that's $1,000 just on flyer on posters, and that's 500 posters, and that's 2 streets in Harare if you think about it, right? So uh, a democracy, ladies and gentlemen, is expensive. And Reshua Dagi is going to do well in Buera because any Maria Yevan, my 2% of total Rapa Iko Cash Dagi Akatora Mari Yoyo, he's the one who's been funded by the government. And so he's got money to burn, sad. And our leadership just does not, and what will happen is we will pull each other up on things like but the twinning exercise in that is $1,000. But I know what $1,000 can do for a campaign, even in Bohera, where it's a vast constituency. So if you want to paint it yellow, you need a far bigger amount. You need $100,000 to make Bohera yellow. You need fertilizer, you need valleys, you need all sorts. So I want us to really understand how much is at stake and how much is actually needed. When we break it down on a constituency by constituency level, I have not met one CCC MP who is happy with the amount of money they have, but they're doing the best they absolutely can. Some of these guys cannot even feed their volunteers. They can't. I mean, it's a really difficult thing to do to keep people motivated for change that will come in 2023. It's very difficult. But these people are trying to do that. And let's keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that you know, 12,000 bucks is absolutely vital for the bloodline of the party to keep moving. But what our candidates are going to need us to do in the near future is give them $1 million. 12,000 is not going to cut it in the bigger scheme of things. Because I know exactly how much ZANU PF is going to spend on these problems. I know how many t-shirts are going to come from China, printed in full color, in beautiful material. I know what they're going to do. And we won't be able to skimp on these coming elections if we want to really bring change. And that's a really sad thing for me to say openly and honestly to my brothers and sisters. But if there is as many of us as we say there are, this should not be a problem. If there is 4 million, 5 million diaspora, if we all stick a buck in, we should be $5 million up. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we can get all of our friends and all of our family and anyone we know, anyone who will listen, to please just check a buck, $1, $3, because the money that's going to be needed, guys, is going to be huge. And it's not going to be Kuda and a couple of guys from diaspora and Ajiko and Awexo. It's not going to be just a couple of guys fundraising. It won't work. This is going to need an institutional, institutional mandate, We're going to need CCC offices in all different countries. They're going to have to engage diplomatic communities, etc., etc. Business is going to have to be engaged. I mean, I met a businessman the other day who wants to stay anonymous, and I was asking for him for resources for Harare Central. And he said to me, Kuda, your candidate has been an MP for 20 years, but has never called me, and yet I have the most businesses in Harare. And I was like, my God, there's so much that has to be done. So much has to be done, guys, to engage the business community, engage the citizen, engage the diaspora, and so forth. So we have 10 days to go. Some of these bigger discussions we should definitely have. Let's have them on the 27th, 28th. For now, we have a serious issue pending, and that's, are we going into this election with agents, or are we going to this election without agents? And that's the question for our generation, for this by-election and for 2020.
Thank you very much, Kuda. Thank you very much there. I think we are going to our next speaker is Tekla. Tekla, you've been dropping quite a bit there. If you want to unmute, then followed by Munashe.
Hello. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I'm just going to touch on the twinning program. This twinning has not been as easy as we are all thinking, and it has not been as successful as we would have wanted it to be. For instance, we realized, like here in UK, my branches akatwinwa, yes, but we realized some branches avana kufulfilla those duties. So we got Chivi North at the moment. We realized the candidate had no phone, had no airtime, had no means or networking, because she's in the rural area. You gotta remember, networking yemunhu ari kuma-rural areas nemunhu ari mutown zvakasiyana. Mamwe ma-candidates that are in town, they've got family, they've got this, they've got a lot of people vanovabatsira. So yes, mama GoFundMe ari kuitwa. Yes, people are contributing, but the money isn't enough. Tikada kutanga kutarisa kuti takabvisa mari yakati takaita chakati yakaitei hapana kwatinoenda. Yes, accountability is needed, but sezvataurwa, the post-mortem has to be run. Tozoona after the elections kuti what could we have done right, tingadai takaita sei. I'm from Birmingham branch. Takatwinwa nekwekwe Mbizo constituents. We only managed to raise £1,000. That's not a lot of money. The money is just going for kuma flyers, kuma t-shirts, but things like food, data, fuel, etc. is not been covered. Our branch chair is gonna come back again. Vakukumbiro mari for those days. Yes, time is running out, but we still have that time. Yasara yoyo kuti tiso the little that we have. We've got a lot that is going on, and we've got a lot of areas that need to be covered. Yes, Chindeshema citizens, let's work together kuti nguva yasara iyoyo tita homework yedu tione kuti where kune magap akanyanya ndekupi, tikwanise kumbokavawo magap iwayo. Half a loaf is better than nothing, but seriously we need kuti tione kuti like zvataurwa kuti kwakatwinwa kwacho kwabudirira ndekupi, kusina ndekupi, kuti zviendeke. Chinhu ndechedu ichi. Thank you very much.
Pepo, you kept on dropping. Would you like to unmute and speak before you drop again?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I think we are doing a lot of good things. So let's not do ourselves down by demoralizing ourselves. At the end of the day, what is needed now, we have to see that we produce something, because this is our own thing. So we need to make sure we contribute what is needed. I've always said, if all of us can just put $1 in, like what Kuda was saying, it will be easy for us to have $1 million within no time. So if we could find a way of all of us just producing $1, all of us, we in this diaspora, we are more than 1 million. So why can't we pay just $1 each for this campaign, just to finish this campaign? And then after that, like other speakers have said, we sit down and we replan about what we are going to do with proper structural planning and other things, because at the moment we didn't have any time, but we have to produce. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my sister there. Sometimes we have to keep in line, but sometimes people will start speaking and it will be unfair to stop them from speaking. But I think if we keep focus, we will do quite a lot. We're going to go to Max, I think Max, and then we go to Temba from Max. You can unmute and speak.
Thank you very much, host and co-host. And I want to say to Kuda and the mayor there, can you please encourage our participants, our aspiring country, our MPs and councillors to come to these spaces so that they can interact with us and hear from them what are the problems that they are facing. Because I know that problems are different depending with the constituencies and areas where they come from. So they can use that time to interface with us, and then people will gladly hear their pleas and can donate to what they want. The problem is that some of our MPs, aspiring MPs, they know that the platforms are there, and they never came up here and introduce themselves or try to pledge or to actually make people aware of the challenges that they are facing. So please, I encourage them to come to these spaces, interact with the citizens. That will also help. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother Max there. I don't know, Mayor, if you would want to respond to what Brother Max has said and a few others. Mayor, can you hear me? Yeah, I think he's probably having difficulties there. Can we go to Temba, please? Temba, would you like to unmute and speak? Bratemba.
Hello?
Would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, yeah, just a quick one, really. I'm a regular contributor as well. Any update regarding membership cards at all, please?
Right, I'm going to give you an update, Temba. The party is still putting a lot of things in place. The party has not even launched yet. So there is bigger things to come. And I'm sure when the party launches, we would have much clarity and more direction on what is it that is needed to be done and perhaps by who. But in the meantime, while we are building our baby, which is just slightly over 2 months, we need to try and focus on the by-elections that we are working on. I thank you for that. I think the next speaker is Desire. Desire, you kept on dropping earlier. Would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm having power problems here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Mine is a question. Like, what is the criteria on picking the polling agents? Like, the polling agent should have skill. Like, we can just not randomly picking someone. It's a question. I need an answer, please.
The mayor is here. We can ask the mayor to respond to that. Mayor, can you respond to that question, please?
If the mayor is not available, I do have some insights if that can help.
Your network is breaking. Do you want to find a spot that you can?
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you there.
Okay, so the polling agents are not random people off the street. If you remember, each candidate has been moving door to door with a campaign team of people and trusted advisors. These are the people who we are pulling the 6,000 agents from. So this is not Kuda volunteering.
Your network is cutting off.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. Can you hear me now?
It's a bit better. Go ahead.
Okay. So agents are being picked from the campaign teams who are already on the ground.
We lost you again, Brother Kuda. We lost you.
I said the agents are being picked from the campaign teams that are on the ground.
We're gonna have to bring you back. I couldn't hear you properly. You are breaking really bad. While we wait for you to sort yourself out, Kuda, I'm going to go to the next speaker, the Jombe guy.
Good evening, everyone. Chona Njani. Hi, mina Chona. So my contribution is more like a suggestion to say most of our candidates, since we are saying some they don't have enough resources, especially those in rural areas who do not have much support. Why can't we come up with a list of all aspiring MPs and councillors? Then we get their personal eco-cash numbers for the same based guys, so that we get their eco-cash numbers or the one money numbers. Because I believe most, or in fact all of them, they do have a personal eco-cash number, such that when we publish those, well-wishers can send in their eco-cash. Because I believe even here in Zim, we can harvest a lot of money, RTGS, in RTGS terms. You know, people can send in their 100 RTGS, their 200 RTGSs, and within in these 10 days, something meaningful can be raised, and they can still use that RTGS to finance little things like fuel, food, and data, airtime, and stuff like that. So it's a suggestion to them, to Kuda and Tim and the mayor there, to say, why can't we come up with that list of all aspiring candidates, the MPs and the councillors? Then when we have that list, when their eco-cash numbers are published or their one money numbers are published, then people can send in monies at any given time. And you realize that within these 10 days, something meaningful will be raised. That's my suggestion.
Thank you very much. Kuda was actually talking about the issue of an eco-cash or a line where people can donate. and I think they are sorting that one out. Hopefully, when we do a space again tomorrow, still on the campaign, we should be having a line where those who are able to donate on the Eco Cash lines would then be able to donate on those. That is
Yes,
being sorted out.
Yes, I hear you, but still having to send direct to the aspiring candidate, I think it can also help, and it can go a long way.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me, guys?
Our election director, Elaine Shredenga, Honorable Elaine Shredenga, she said she was going to come on the space later if she can. She didn't have electricity when I spoke to her and saying her phone was about to run out of battery, which is a big challenge that we have. But I'm hoping that she's able to come on and explain some of these things, because she's got details and numbers and details of each and every person who is going to be running for office. Kuda, would you like to come in there?
Yeah, can you hear me now clearly, guys?
It's much better now. Go ahead.
Awesome. So, if you remember what EcoCash is a peer-to-peer payment system, which is supposed to be for normal citizens to be able to facilitate quick payments, going back and forth about their business. So, the threat that we have right now is that if we give people's EcoCash numbers out, and let's say 1,000 people then send $1,000, that EcoCash line then gets blocked, and this is a real issue. So our candidates are now going to have to actually get agent or merchant lines which can accept more money, and that has to be linked to their bank accounts. That's something that I hope is done in the future, so that we can do direct to merchant payments to our candidates, etc., and support different ones. I mean, I would love to be able to support Joanna Mamombe in Harare West, for example. I mean, I would love to be able to do that. But I think there's a danger currently of saying send to this number. I know I did that on the weekend. I said I sent to Chiba's number, but I know that puts him in a bit of a bind, because we all know the limits that EcoCash has, and then it only renews once a week, and then it renews at the end of the month. So these are some of the real issues people have to deal with, right? You almost cannot spend more than $200 on EcoCash per month right now if you convert over properly. It's quite sad how bad EcoCash is for these kind of facilities. So I take that suggestion on board. It's a good idea, but they're going to have to get merchants, one money merchants, and so forth, so that they can actually get proper donations from the citizenry in a clever but yet accountable way. That's the way it's going to work. Right now, giving out people's numbers has got the risk again of getting their phones blocked, and I don't think it will scale like we think. It could cause the candidates more problems than it's worth for the current time being. Same thing with something like someone says, why don't you give people out inbox? Well, we've been paying a lot of people using inbox recently, and inbox is just as bad because it has a limit of $200. So if somebody even has 50 cents on their inbox, if you try and send them $200, it then bounces immediately, because it doesn't allow the holder to have anything above $200 in their inbox at any given time. So these are some of the real logistical issues that are when you're dealing with so many candidates and so many polling agents, etc. These are things that we're going to have to seriously post-mortem. I wish there was a big director with a lot of funding and a lot of people to handle some of these big
anything.
Kuda, you are really breaking up big time.
Yeah, Kuda is breaking. Can you restart? I can't hear anything. Thank you.
I'm going to ask my my brother Weston Miranda. How are you, my brother? Would you like to unmute and speak? I'm going to go to Marco once we finish with brother Weston. Go ahead and speak.
Oh, thank you, Brother Washington. Thank you so much for the great work you're doing. We appreciate, and also thanks to my brother Kuda for the great work you're doing. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I want to just two things or three things. First of all, I want to second the notion, $1 or £1 campaign. I think that will be a very effective campaign Why? Because a lot of people they want to give, but they may not be able to afford, quite a hefty amount, maybe $10 or 15. And some of them they want to, but they think, you know what, and wanda saka kuti ndibvise $2, $3, zvinenge zvinonyarisa. But if we do like $1 for change, a campaign, $1 for change, I'm telling you, we'll have almost everybody. A lot of people, that million number that you're talking about, we'll have those people, everybody paying that $1. $1 campaign, £1, whatever it is, you'll have a lot of people. And we will push, everybody's got circles within their WhatsApp group, families, friends, church people, we can send, have you paid your $1? Have you paid your £1 for triple C, for change? I think it can be something that can be exciting. And people posting on Facebook, I've paid my $1, I've paid my £1. It can be exciting and very effective. So I second that notion. Secondly, there is fundraising. I know you've touched on my fundraising at Beachwood with my wards and so forth. Here my branch is here in the UK, right? That's fine. That is good, and you explained that with your stropes money. But I think, is it possible to get a memo from the top that they suspend that for the next 10 days? Because even as we are speaking right now, some people are donating their monthly contributions, they might $20, £20, whatever, which is happening right now, even in this week. Why not suspend that, right? Whether it's a memo from the top, you end up my branches, let's suspend, let's channel every money that is coming for the next 10 days to go towards the by-elections. I think that would help. And then number 3, Panama regalia. I just want to find out, those regalias that are being sold, are they part of fundraising, or is it people that just are making money for themselves? I wanted to find out, because there's a lot of people that need regalia, especially in the UK. It's I don't know whether it's going to help within the 10 days, but maybe going forward, something that we can look into. Putting a prize, whatever, for fundraising, not for people making their own money. That's all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, my brother. Those are very, very, very valid points that you've raised in there. I probably want to go back to one of the issues you mentioned. First, the dollar per person fundraising. If it was up to me, or up to us as citizens, if we can come together and say, look, I know 10, 20, 30 people, we are in so many WhatsApp groups, guys, there's this fundraiser which is going, let's do $1. I mean, we're going to do $1 for every week campaign. But a dollar campaign per person, if all of us put our hands on the deck, I tell you, we can make a difference. Right now, there is about 318 people on this group. I can tell you, if we put $1 each, that money will go a long way. But it's not easy. Some people don't even have $1, or maybe some people don't even want to, to contribute that. But we are saying to those that are willing, this country called Zimbabwe, it's not just my country, or it's not the mayor's country, it's not Kuda's country, it's not Makombore's country, it's our country. So if all of us can take responsibility and say, this is what we are doing, we can go far. Because on the fundraiser that we have, if a person wants to contribute $1, yes, they can go in on the space, it's pinned right at the top there, and do your donation. Do your donation, $1 donation, and it will go a long way. Now, going to another point that you mentioned as well. Sorry, Barbara, I'll let you speak in a minute. You also mentioned whether we could get a letter to stop other fundraising. I think that at the moment it's probably not ideal, because these are citizens who are coming up with initiatives that we want to do this, you want to do this. So I think that it would probably be unfair and probably unethical to go and say, you stop this and you do this. People are here, they are seeing what we are doing. If anybody feels that this is what they think we should do, that is your thought, then we work together and we do that. But what we are all doing, we are trying to make sure we get to a free Zimbabwe. So I think with that, I'm going to give Barbara the mic to speak, and then after Barbara, we are going to ask Makombore Arizvishi. I think a lot of people would know Mako. He was in prison for a very, very long time, for standing up to this regime. And I think that we are going to give him the mic, and he will share with us, and we'll hear the story there. Over to you, Barbara.
Okay, thank you so much, Washington. Greetings to all our speakers and our listeners all over the world. I just wanted to chip in, Washington. This cause that Kuda is brought forward before us, it's a good cause, and I would like us to respond accordingly. I know there are a lot of things that are happening. There are a lot of fundraisers that are happening. And I would want to say some fundraisers, they are long term. This is a short term. We have short term fundraisers and long term fundraisers. And if you feel kuti you've been fundraising somewhere else and you can not fundraise anymore, or maybe you want accountability, it's okay. And I just want us to take note that the polling agents, ndo pane nyaya, ndo pane mongo. This is a serious issue. And I'm speaking from experience. 2018, I was a chief election agent in Keta constituency. And the polling agents, we had nothing. And what did we do? The candidate, the MP, and the councillors in that constituency, and myself and other executive members that were in the district, we had to contribute towards the food. We had to find our own transport. I had to hire a car. Someone was driving me fuel. I had to pump out my own money. But no one even knows that I did that, because I was doing this for me, for my children. And I didn't even ask for payment. And I know what it is like. And I would want to thank the elections committee for coming whilst we still have got time. 10 days is a lot of money. We can fundraise and we can come up with the required amount. Yes, we might we might have taken care of some other things to keep the candidates going. But these are administrative expenses that we are fundraising. These are the logistics. If we fail here and then we cannot hold the elections committee accountable, let's do our part. I know this is a new baby. CCC is a new baby, and we formed CCC, and I know we are on storming stage. A lot of things are happening, and things will normalize. We'll get to the norming stage, and then performing. And then it will come a time when there will be dissolution, but I don't think CCC will reach that stage now. So these are we have to accept in a group, there are different characters and different thinking. So we just have to accept each other, acknowledge what other people are saying. Let's if someone comes with an idea, let's embrace the idea, as long as it's going to take us far. I've just done my busy. I didn't even take 1 minute to donate. I've just donated because I know this is a good cause. But I believe if you put something, it's better than talking and not doing anything. Even if you have donated before, let's donate. Even if it means donating every day, let's donate. Guys, let's donate. This is a good cause. And I'll also urge people in Zimbabwe. I know there are some people in Zimbabwe who have these foreign currency. Let's also be part of this fundraiser. Kofi can take money even if you are in Zim. We had someone who donated $10, and I was touched. donated $10 and he was in Zimbabwe. I was so touched. And yet here in the diaspora, many of us, we are here because of the political situation in Zimbabwe. And this is our time. Let's oil this struggle. Together, we can go far. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister Barbara. Thank you so much. They say sharing is caring, and I'm sure those who are listening can hear the wise words from our sister there. Um, my brother Makomo, would you like to
Yes,
unmute
yes.
and speak? It's good to have you on the space, Marco. The space is yours now.
Okay, revolutionary greetings, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, yellow. It's great, joining this yellow future space. The yellow nation is everywhere. It's great, also just after the weekend rallies where Zimbabweans were really affirming their support for new, their support for yellow, their support for progress, their support for change. Um, it's also great to be joining also super patriotic great Zimbabweans, virtually discussing about how to secure our victory, our nation, our future. Because of course, it's a reality. The people have already won. We may be speaking of getting into the by-elections, going into the general elections in 2023, but the people have already won. And the by-elections, of course, they are by because they are happening in between electoral schedules. But I also believe the by is also that we are just passing by 26 March, going into 2023. We are just passing by 26 March by elections, going into the presidential elections in 2023. And we are just passing by the victory of 26 March into the people's victory in 2023. So, but the fact that we have won, that's already, a lived reality. But what is now needed and required is for us to secure the people's victory. How do you secure it? We secure it through, the Operation Golden Shield. How do we secure the victory? We secure it, through encouraging people to register to vote. How do we secure the people's victory? How do we secure the Yellow Nation? We secure it through, actually mobilizing people to come out in their numbers to vote. But the ultimate uh, strategy, the ultimate into goal is Operation Golden Shield, defending the vote. After people have registered to vote, have voted, we need to defend the vote. And this is, why I'm happy also to be part of it. Just so Operation Golden Shield, you click join, and it's good. It's great that people, in our numbers, have dedicated their time to listen to this, to be part of this, to participate, to see how we can secure our future. Because our future, we've already won it. People power is stronger than the people in power. But all they've been doing all these years, all these elections, all these, electoral cycles, has been to subvert the people's will, to rob the people of their victory through electoral manipulation, through ensuring that they make it difficult for the people to secure their vote, to secure their victory. And now we are wiser due to previous experiences. We are, as citizens, taking matters into our own hands, grabbing the future and ensuring that we defend it. So it's important, it's critical that we also popularize amongst the people, stuff like a dollar for change. People need to know that, above all, after ZANU-PF, through the courts, captured courts, he awarded and robbed the people of their party, the MTS Alliance, robbed the people of their MPs, of their councillors, robbed the people of their headquarters, robbed the people of their everything. We told them, the people responded by showing some proof that no, money, buildings, headquarters, councillors, MPs, and other assets are not the critical ingredient for democracy. The most critical ingredient for democracy, the most powerful, tool of transaction in a democracy is the people. Is the people. And the people, after they got all that, we are seeing what now is left of the empty alliance with Monzora. It's nothing. It's now just but an empty shell. It's now a vacuum. Why? Because the people have made a decision and went yellow, from red to yellow. They've gone from empty alliance to triple C. So the people are the most powerful and most important tool of transaction in a democracy. So we have to show it, we have to transform it through many ways. How? Making sure that we as the people who use our numerical superiority under the banner of triple C, the yellow banner, through registering to vote in our numbers, through actually coming out to vote, through demanding electoral reforms, through also participating, taking part and contributing to Operation Golden Shield. So we must know that since we are the most critical resource, the struggle is ours. We need to popularize each and every stage of our struggle, each and every stage of securing the post victory, which is already guaranteed, from registering to vote, voting, demanding electoral reforms, especially with SEC, demanding that it reforms. Either they disband if they are not up for task, if they cannot deliver the task as per the constitutions, per the law of this country. Then thirdly, Operation Golden Shield. For me, my understanding of Operation Golden Shield, it's number one, to ensure an effective parallel voter tabulation system for Triple C. It's ensuring that, for example, we're going into these by-elections. We have 2,000 polling stations. We have to ensure that we have polling agents who are up for the task, trained, who know their mission on the day of the election. Maybe even starting day before, when the election material is delivered at the polling station. We need to know that we have people who are, in terms of supervising all these polling stations, in order for an effective and efficient parallel voter tabulation system. Because our problem now is we have a competitive authoritarian regime. And this competitive authoritarian regime, what they do on the world stage, in the public, in the media, they flaunt, and speak flower of democracy, flower language depicting that they are democratic. And they also do it by calling for elections. When they call these elections, they know they're not popular, but they just want to choose these elections to justify their lies that they are democrats, that they are democratic, that they follow the rule of law, the constitution. But everything they do, you discover that they undermine the very systems which ensure that democracy is realized. Like, look what they are doing, SEC. Moving voters from their polling stations, fraudulent registration of voters. One address, you find 40 people from one address, which is not even in a residential area. People will stay at the same place given the different polling stations. I
Marco, thank you, my brother. Can you hear me? We seem to be lost, Marco.
So moving further, my point.
Marco, we are losing you. We can't even hear you. Marco. We seem to have lost Marco there.
Hello?
We had lost you there. We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So my point is, what I was trying to explain, what I'm explaining, in fact, is that Zimbabwe, our institutions which ensure democracy is realized, are eroded, they are corroded, they are corrupted. So we have to ensure, for us now to realize democracy, to ensure that it's established, we have to put our own means and systems, especially when it comes to the elections. We have to put our own parallel voter tabulation system, which ensures that every vote is counted, every vote which matters is realized, which ensures that along the way we are able to have our own effective means of counting the votes, the ballots, from polling station to up to national level. So that's why I'm applauding the Operation Golden Shield. It's to ensure that such a process happens. Because unlike you, I'm sure we all witnessed, for example, the American elections, where the media naturally they are the ones who be announcing in real time as results are coming in. But here in Zimbabwe now, they make sure that that doesn't happen. They want to find time to alter the results in their favor, to rig the results. So we need now to popularize as part of securing our victory, as part of encouraging people to register to vote, as part of encouraging the masses to come out in their numbers and vote on the by-elections on the 26th of March and also in 2023, as part of, securing, our vote through demanding electoral reforms, especially from SEC, as part of the efforts to secure the post victory, we need to place critical importance on the value of Operation Golden Shield. Every citizen must understand. We need to do proper and effective political education to make them understand why we need to have a parallel voter tabulation system in the oncoming elections, especially an effective one on the 26th March by-elections. Why? Because it's a test drive. It's a test drive of what we will do in 2023. It's a test run of our effectiveness or our capacity as citizens to sponsor and then to actually man the polling station with polling agents, and also to be able to do our own parallel voter tabulation and counting system, so that we will see and be able to catch them red-handed when they try to rig. So we need to popularize this and understand that we as the people are ultimately the game changers. We as the people are the biggest resource that we have. We are on our own, but luckily we are on our own in our millions. So we need to transform and convert that numerical superiority even to resources. If we are to popularize a dollar for change campaign or a pound for change campaign, it will be very powerful. A lot of us, of course, we are poor, but we will definitely afford at least $1 for change, because it's $1 to ensure that we support those who are on the ground, those who are manning the polling station. It's our humble contributions to those who are doing the actual work on the ground. Because we may speak of polling agents. I may give you a brief history of polling agents. A polling agent is someone who goes to the polling station to safeguard against voter rigging, to safeguard against the stealing of votes. And that person, by doing so, directly put themselves in the direct firing line of SANPIF, of the system, of the CIOs, of the FERET, of the intelligence system. We have had history. We have checked from 2008, even before, and even 2018 during the elections, where we have had polling agents who were victimized. Some were killed, if we were to speak of 2008. Some were crippled. Why? Because they are the ones who will be defending the vote with their lives on the ground. So we need to help them. We need to empower them with the resources. We need to empower them with the food. We need to empower them with even airtime. We need to empower them with books, exercise books, which they will use to write the figures, fonts to take pictures of the V11 forms and send them to the area supervisor. They need to know that they are not in this alone. Their sacrifice to be there physically must also be complemented by us, the movement, the people, to ensure that it will make it efficient for them to defend our victory, to secure our victory for the rest of us. So it's actually a tough job, and we have to make their job easier and more efficient and more effective. Because what we want at the end of the day is to ensure that we have people who are on the ground, we have people who are defending the fort, and who are efficient in doing that job, not just people who are there, but who are efficient and effective. So it's a message that we need to educate, increase awareness around the people, that we need to at least contribute $1 for change. And we are in our million. If the message is properly packaged, I'm sure people will understand this importance of, Operation Golden Shield, and why we need to continue encouraging people to register to vote, why we need to encourage those who are registered to vote to come out in their numbers to vote, and why we also need to, ensure that Operation Golden Shield actually is actualized in its most effective and efficient form. I think with these words, yeah, thanks for also give me the opportunity to contribute my 2 cents to this discussion. Then I also had there were discussions around issues to do with like the logistical issues, etc. Parallel flood population by its very nature, I understand that it's most effective if it's centrally coordinated and organized. Because I had some suggestions to do with maybe reaching out the polling agents themselves or the candidates. When we come to this period, especially of elections, candidates will be overwhelmed with a lot of things. Number one, they'll be focused on issues to do with mobilizing people to actually come out and vote. So if you are to burden them with the task of also coordinating the agents, yes, they'll be able to do that, but it will be just too much. Especially when it comes now to basic logistical issues like giving a time for the polling agents, etc. So there's need to have a centralized system. Because that centralized system in coordinating the agents is also critical when we are now collecting the data that they would have collected from the polling station. It needs to be centralized for it to be efficient, effective, and for us to have the totals. For example, at a ward, polling stations in a ward, the most important thing or the most important reason why we have polling agents is that they'll be able to communicate to a central, supervisor or central command center where they'll be sending information and the data that they would have collected and the votes that they'll be defending. So yeah, I hope it maybe clear some of the things. But thanks very much. I want to appreciate everyone here. You was here voluntarily and also contributing to this very important discussion, and also those who are contributing to with donations. May God bless you, and may you please continue the great work. And also those who are coordinating these platforms, it's very, very much important that you may take it slightly, but these are critical platforms which way back then would be equated to the night features pungwe zaitwa nguva yahondo. Itori pungwe yatiri kuita because usiku tiri kutotaura, we are managing to have meaningful discussions wherever we are across the world. Itori pungwe, we are having these night features and we are discussing critical issues concerning our nation, concerning our future, concerning our welfare, concerning our lives, concerning Zimbabwe, concerning Zimbabweans, millions of them. So thanks very much, everyone. And I think with these few words, yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, Kuda. Sorry, thank you, Marco. Before you go, Marco, I want to ask you a personal and very emotional question. Some people who are here may not know you, and may not know where you are coming from with this fight that we have for freedom or for freeing Zimbabwe. Can you tell the listeners how long you were locked up in Chikurubi by the regime, please?
Okay, in prison, I was there for 10 months, 22 days. In terms of the prison calendar, that's 1 year, 3 months. But yeah, but if you are contributing something to an idea that's bigger than you, these are things which, because I felt that I was contributing something bigger than me, the pain was lesser. I chose and was able to ignore it. Prison is a very bad place, very painful place. But the fact and knowledge that we are in this struggle together, we are stronger together, that I'm making my humble contributions to change, it made me feel that it's a worthy cause, it's worth the pain. Because we have some who have paid the ultimate price. We can speak of the Italian Amaras of this world. Of course, I mentioned Itai because most of the demonstrations that we did with Itai back then, they were around electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. Itai Zamara's message was around electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. And there are others who were killed during elections. We speak of 2008. We can speak of even from Kukuraund. We can speak of even you know, Wondeminda. Why am I mentioning these issues, Kukuraund, Wondeminda? People may feel that they were pure ethnical or land squabbles in as far as Kukuraund and Wondeminda were concerned, but they were part of a grand electoral rigging scheme by ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF knew that it was targeting Kukuraund, it was targeting Joshua Nkomo and Sap Kada because they were clear contenders to his throne, clear contenders to his power, clear competitors to his power, offering a viable alternative. So in order to defeat them, they had to eradicate them, commit a genocide against them, outlaw Sap as an opposition. And that's how they killed over 20,000 people. If you go to Ondeminda, you discover that the issue, yes, we may speak of the 5,000 white farmers who were displaced of their land, but there were 200,000 black Africans who were workers on those farms, who were supervisors on those farms, who were foremen on those farms, who were teachers on those farms. Those people were displaced. Why? Because Mugabe had lost the referendum, the constitutional referendum. It was in 2000. He had lost it. It was in the constitutional referendum. He had lost the constitutional referendum. And after losing the constitutional referendum, the only way he discovered that no, there are 200,000 voters, blacks, who were on these farms. So by dealing with the 5,000 farmers, they were also displacing and displacing people who were registered in those areas. So over 200,000. And these people, we saw them, you know, as part of the wider rigging scheme, both were now approaching presidential elections. They were also affected by Muramba Train. So we may view them in other things, but it's a wider voter manipulation and rigging scheme by ZANU-PF. Muramba Train, people was also destroyed. But these were the very same 200,000 blacks who were displaced from farms during Wondeminda. They no longer had permanent residences. These people were now, you know, ineligible to vote. They were never able to vote, and they can't vote because they have no place of residences. They have been displaced from areas where they were registered to vote. So you discover that at the end of the day, yeah, it was painful, but it was my humble contribution, and it's nothing compared to what all these other people that I've mentioned at first. And yeah, it's nothing also compared to what Mbonenwe, who also paid the ultimate price for simply choosing yellow, for simply choosing gold, you know, for simply choosing a better Zimbabwe, for simply choosing a better life over corruption, choosing human rights over, you know, ZANU-PF killing instincts, for choosing jobs over, you know, the destruction of industries, for choosing a brighter Zimbabwe over, you know, darker Zimbabwe, for choosing light over darkness. So yeah, prison on its own was bad and it was painful. But also the people there in prison, if I maybe to just give a short description of how I understood them over this period that I stayed with them, they are more like, for me, prison, it's more like a cemetery of dreams, you know, a graveyard of aspirations. Why? Because people who are in there are people, largely they are there because they are committing crimes of the economy. They don't have jobs, they don't have hope. They are forced into crime just for survival. They are forced into armed robbery for survival. They are forced into fraud for survival. And there are many who, if you talk to, you can clearly see that they were disadvantaged from an early stage. They were denied an opportunity to education because education was not available for all. It's expensive for them, despite Constitution saying, Section 75 of the Constitution saying education is a right. There are some who failed to acquire education because their parents were killed in Kukuraund. Thus, they do not have birth certificate, they don't have national IDs, national registration, documentation. So they can't progress with education. And there are those who managed to get educated, but after they graduated, they failed to get employment. So they are forced into crime. And if you check their numbers, prisons it's overcrowded right now. They are overcrowded our prisons. But if you check the majority, 99%, they're young people. They are youths who have lost hope, who are trying to you know, to make ends meet. through crime. It's not like, yes, that it's delinquent behavior and we do not condone crime, but they are simply also following the footpaths. They are just tracing the footmarks of their leaders in government. How are they surviving? We see them with assets of prestige, buying mansions, building mansions with Lamborghinis and stuff. But all these assets of prestige are acquired through crime. They are stealing from us. They are stealing billions. They are stealing millions. They are giving tenders to their friends. The Kudakwash Tagores of this world. The farm mechanization scheme, command agriculture, money being stolen, money from Sinara, we pay token. Our tax money is being stolen by these people. So they are setting, an example that for you to make it, you have to steal. And yes, we can say those who go into prison are armed robbers, but what do we call if Emerson Mnangagwa steals money, government money, billions? Like his son stole the drugs money, 60 million drugs money. Yet Emerson Mnangagwa moves around with a motorcade, an armed motorcade. The armed soldiers there. So what do we call that? Is that not armed robbery? It's armed robbery, of course, but he's not accountable. He can't account because he's guarded by soldiers. He has soldiers, and yeah, I hope maybe if you have another question, you can ask.
Thank you, Makombo. The reason why I asked that question is I just wanted to put a perspective to everyone who's on the call tonight that we have people like you who have been working so hard, speaking up for independence, speaking up for all these reforms that we're talking about. And because of that, you were criminalized, you were then arrested and thrown into a prison for those 10 months or 1 year, 3 months. But you are here with us tonight and you are speaking your voice. A lot of people fear speaking out because they fear the consequences. But look at where our country is now. I just want to thank you for that. And I wanted people who are here to also know that, remember, we had a Mako Monday. This is the Mako that we were having that Monday, remembering and wishing for and praying for to be released from the prison that he was. And we are here with him today. Yeah. So thank you very much. And just a quick update. So far, in terms of the fundraiser that we've got, we have raised about 1,100. That's so far what we have raised. And my ask is, Zimbabweans, citizens, we have a lot of work to do, and it is us who pave this way. Look at how our president has been doing in Zimbabwe and the team on the ground. They have been going literally everywhere. And like you heard, they've been sleeping in the cars. They have been just like everyone else as an ordinary person. And they are getting to an extent where they're even removing this business of going to sit on their own and they're sitting together with the people there. What else can you ask for? I'm going to give the floor to Tamuka and then Chambi. I know you've been waiting for a while. You can go ahead and speak. Tamuka, you can unmute. Chambi, Tamuka is not able to speak. Can you go ahead and speak, please?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, host. Good evening, fellow Zimbabweans, fellow citizens. I don't have much to say besides that. Mine is a bit of a concern. I don't really know. I've been following the fundraising for CC, the car issue, and now the rally campaigns and the agent issue. I'm a bit concerned with the number of funds that are running. And all these funds that are currently running, they're running for one organization, which is Triple C. I don't understand why we have so many of them running when we are all pushing for one goal, which is to free Zimbabwe or to fundraise for one organization, which is Triple C. So it's a bit of concern in
with the way the fund has been raising. I know people are hungry for change. People want change. Zimbabweans are giving. For example, I've seen that there's a fundraising for every rally. There's a fundraising for Manondera, fundraising for Zimbabwe Grounds, for example, fundraising for Blawayo. If we all have this common thing that is uniting us, common core that is bringing us together, why are we finding ourselves running parallel fundraising? Is that not confusing? That's just one concern. And also, I've seen some tweets regarding agents and everything, which is a good thing. I really appreciate the effort that people are doing, systems are doing, and it's one thing that Triple C needs to really work on and invest on. And it's a concern again. I'm not saying what people are doing or what they are initiating is bad or whatever it is bad, but my concern is some of this information is of intelligent nature. You don't want to alert the enemy what you're going to do, how you're going to do voter tabulation. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is really a good thing. Then don't get me wrong, colleagues. But my worry is some of these things, because maybe people have been betrayed in 2018 when we had a situation where there were no agents, and we need agents. But if you are going to run your own system for that tabulation, is it not worth it to do it in the background? We know the enemy that we're dealing with. This enemy is called ZANU-PF. For example, we are doing the voters roll. I'm part of Team Pachedi, and right now we have a former Harare mayor being passed for registering so many people. This system comes back and tries to trick you another way. We are dealing with a bigger system here. Why is there a need to give them all this information out? Is it not okay for us to just say we need agents, we need this much money for agents, and then the final details, we keep them out of the limelight? I'm just giving my 2 cents here, colleague. I think that those are my 2 contributions. If I can just get an answer on why we have so many funds going on, and why is there a need for one organization to have so many fundraising, one for each rally, and then the other one for the next rally, the other one for agents? Why are people not coming together and just doing one thing? That's just a bit of concern for me. And I did see that there was some fund, I don't know who's managing it, that is a monthly debit order facility, which is a good thing. And maybe I should add just one concern also on my side, is that there's so much that is being done by ordinary people. And I've highlighted this, some of the leadership in Triple C, that it's very sad that most of these leaders, they don't even talk about fundraising. They don't even promote it on their handles. They leave it to people like Kuda, people like Villager to do all these things. But these people have a pulling power. If Nelson Chamisa pins a tweet about fundraising on his page, you get so many people because there's almost 1 million followers. Why are our leaders not being proactive also? So I think those are my 3 areas of concern that I just want us to address also. Thank you.
Thank you, Chambi. Brother Kuda, let me answer him first, then you can come in. I want to start by answering you on the issue of so many fundraisers going. I think that, our party is still growing. It's not even properly constituted yet. And one of the things that is happening is that when they started the campaigns, there were attacks that were done to the president. And those attacks is what prompted the citizens to say, we want to raise money for the vehicle for the president, so that we can get him something that could protect him, because bullets were fired and people were fearing for the security. So the power of the citizens, when they've decided they want something, I think that you can't go to the citizens and say, stop this, do this. I think it would be unfair, because they are doing what they think is right or what they want to happen. So that's what I can say in regards to that fundraiser. And from that fundraiser, they managed to raise that 126,000. They've gone on to start another fundraising for 2.5 million. One of the reasons why they started doing that is they are looking at 2023, right? And 2023 is not now. 2023 is what we need to look forward to. So it's pre-planning for 2023. So I know sometimes we've got other fundraisers which are running out there that kind of like confuse people, which is why we get these spaces where we try and explain what's going on, because we don't want to look this thing to look as if this team who's doing that is doing a competition with that one. No, we need all hands on the deck, because there's so much. This is so big. This is bigger than we can even imagine. So you mentioned the other fundraiser for the monthly contributions. It is us who's running that fundraiser with monthly contributions, because we are trying to build a scenario where on a monthly basis our party can expect a certain amount of money to be able to do things on a monthly basis, and this is like now. And then the fundraiser that we have today, which we are running with Kuda, we are the same people as well. We did not want to confuse people to go on to the other fundraiser that we are saying, people, let's donate on a monthly basis to try and build our party, to then come to this fundraiser that we are running with Kuda, which is just for a limited period of time for the next 10 days. So I hope I'm making myself clear here. We are trying our best to do something that is good. We haven't got systems in place yet, although we are slowly putting things together. Working together, I think one of my brother mentioned that it sometimes is confusing. Let's not be confused, good people. This is going for a good cause. There are people in branches who are also fundraising, and we are all doing this with the hope that together, united, we can do something that will change what our country is. So with the monthly contribution fundraiser, the intention is, obviously we're going to be updating you on what is going on. There's a lot that we are doing. Some of the things I'm going to have to divulge them maybe in the next few days, so that you get to know what we are doing. We want to try and build a party that is self-sustainable, but at the moment we also need all the citizens to support the party, because it's us who needs this change. So we have to work for this change. So I'm gonna go back to my brother Kuda there, and yeah, you've got the space. You can go ahead, brother Kuda.
Thank you, bro. I think you're quite eloquent in your explanation about some of the other questions. I think I'll just chime in then on the question on why do we not see President Chamisa chiming in on fundraisers? Why don't we see Honorable BT chiming in on fundraisers, etc.? Again, I'm going to try and put things in a bit of perspective, because from the outside looking in, sometimes these things are confusing. But I had the pleasure of hanging out with some of these guys the other day, and I can tell you the honest truth is that apart from, even our leadership is now in voluntary positions, to be honest. They're not we're not paying any of these guys for what they're doing at the moment, right? I think they'll be probably paid in time by being given positions of power through our votes. But as it stands today, we have to consider that I cannot expect President Chamisa to be on his Twitter all the time tweeting out stuff, because he not only has a practice to still look after, he also has a family, he also has he has to eat. There's a whole lot of things that compounded in that man's life. Plus, he has to entertain us at these rallies and inspire us at these rallies and dance on the stage and all these things. So these are a lot of things happening in the leadership. And I genuinely now feel a lot more empathy than I did before. I'm much more empathetic at the amount of pressure that some of the leadership are under right now. Some of them are still in court for various hocus pocus deals. I mean, Honorable BT is still in court. There's a lot of Honorable Janama Mombe is up and down in court, does not got a passport. There's a lot going on. But at the same time, we expect them to smile and be there for us and so forth. So I think it's acceptable for us as a citizen to say, look, we're going to do Operation Golden Shield. We're going to try and raise money for the agents, because that's something that we as citizens want. We desperately want it, right? Because let these leaders put themselves on the block for us. Let them put their heads above the parapet. Let them choose to go into leadership positions and lead the team. But we as the citizens want to facilitate for a fair vote count, a defended vote count. And that's something that I think we're going to have to stomach for the time being. The reason why there's so many fragmented versions of fundraisers is because there is a lot of fundraising that needs to happen. The monthly one that the diaspora desk is doing is so important because President Chamisa needs a PA or 2 or 3. We're going to have to get telephones, a permanent office structure, a secretariat, people to look after day-to-day runnings of the party, someone to call the faithful every now and then, airtime, etc. So if you as diaspora can guarantee a certain amount of cash that the party can count on and budget on, they can actually start making effective hires right now. But that's something that's not currently happening. And I know Honorable Coulthard said yesterday, guys, that right now, because of the by-elections, there's a lot of fragmentation. But we have been assured by the leadership that post-mortem, we've had a look at what's happened and so forth. They are going to consolidate a lot of these efforts into one fund where people will be able to fund their elections, fund their party, fund their president, fund their elected officials, and move in that direction. And that's a promise that we're going to have to hold them accountable for. We will not accept, after the by-elections, Madisnyongo, we should not accept Kusarongeka. We should not accept candidates not having posters and not being funded and not being able to move around, because that's not good enough for a citizens movement. If we play our part, we are going to expect them to play their part. I have been crying for a Nico Cash number because Zimbabweans are saying we also want to contribute. How do we send EcoCash? Till now, no one has sent EcoCash. But now I understand. I'm empathetic. No one has decided, no one has been able to go to Stuart Bank, fill out the forms. Is there a constitution even for the party yet? Is there, even if you were to say you want to do membership cards, what is the current what is the current constitution for membership to CCC? What are the rules that you have to follow? What are the rules that you cannot break to be a part of the organization? These are all extremely complex things that the leadership has to be dealing with right now, and they must deal with them. They must tell us, when I want to join, these are the rules I'm accepting to be part of this association. These are the things that I want to be able to participate in, and this is how much I'm willing to pay to be associated. Because we've been in other countries, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, they all have very structured, membership structured and faithful, which keep the parties going. And then during the elections, they have big fundraisers, then they have the big donors. So these are some of the things that the party has to sort out. We have 10 days, guys, and we really don't have time to now, chastise our leadership for not kurongika and stuff, because I understand what they've been going through. The party headquarters was taken, the money was taken, MPs were recalled, cars were removed from these MPs. I mean, it's chaos. And we're expecting these people to smile and come on spaces with us. I'm much more sympathetic now. I really feel for the leadership. I mean, I witnessed the operations in Kwazana East yesterday with Honorable Wende. I saw what Honorable Murisi was doing. I see what Honorable Chombo was doing. Chombo was doing. There's a lot of work on the ground. These guys are tired. They're leading teams. They're trying to keep people motivated with very little resources. We're all gonna have to play our part for the time being, and hopefully this beautiful thing called CCC, this yellow monster, is going to turn into a beautiful, beautiful monster when everyone has time to now really take a deep breath and consolidate. But please the empathy is, please forgive. Right now, you have to have a long, suffering heart. Please forgive. Nothing is as it seems. There's a lot of work to do. And I'm just hoping that some of us adding our energy, all of you guys adding your monies, your volunteering, your move door to doors, that's the stuff that's going to make a big change. But right now, we've got to focus. If we do not put up that golden shield and defend our vote, we are dead in the water. And we're going to have to work a lot harder in this coming 10 days. Cheers.
Mhm.
Thank you there. Thank you, my brother Kuda. Thank you. We're gonna have to be a few minutes for the next speakers, please. The Zimbabwe, the Zim Revolution, and followed by James, then Vicent, and then we have Kathija, and then Constant, and then we finish with Peppo. I think Peppo, you spoke earlier.
Right. Thank you so much, host, for giving me this opportunity to say something. And thank you so much, Kuda, for elaborating and giving us a little bit of picture into insights into what's happening on the ground, since we cannot see. The first thing I can say is that we are contributing, and we will continue to contribute because we understand this is our own fight, this is our own struggle. I have a couple of questions and perhaps one suggestion, and I'll try to go through it very quickly. I do not really need these questions to be answered, but perhaps maybe host you can write this down and maybe forward it to the leadership just to look at some of these issues. So the first thing is that perhaps a year after the CCC was published, perhaps we can have an audit which is published maybe on the website just to show the funds and how they were used. I think it will it will motivate the citizens, and it will also give us clarity and give us confidence in our struggle. Now, the first question is, what's our plan in case, number one, ZEC ends up announcing rigged results? That's the first question. What is our plan? Number two, what is our plan in case ZEC delays announcing results to unreasonable periods? We are talking about maybe after 1 week or maybe after 2 weeks even, like what happened before. Number three, what's our plan if the military gets involved, like what happened on the 1st of August 2018, where people were killed on the streets in broad daylight by rogue, military elements. Actually, they were part of the military, not rogue. Number four, if ZANU-PF tries to push for a GNU after losing, like what they did in 2008, what is our plan afterwards? I think these are my 4 questions, and I don't really need them to be answered, but it would be great if the leadership could have this on their mind, because there is a great possibility that ZANU-PF will resort to one of these points. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, my brother. These spaces are recorded. Unfortunately, I didn't record the space for yesterday, so that was unfortunate. But these spaces are recorded, and there is a lot of information that we actually take to the leadership as well, in respect to what people are saying, or to respect to what citizens are saying. So it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. The next speaker is James. James, would you like to go ahead and speak, please?
Thank you, the host. Good evening, everyone. I have just a suggestion from the diasporans to Kuda. Kuda, I'm sure now it's an agent. We have a by-elections, it's 10 days to come. But going forward, I'm sure we got a lot of branches in diaspora. So for 2023, we need to coordinate with all branches so that when we have such donations, it can be coordination from those chairmen, whoever leading across the diaspora, so that we can have one focus. They can mobilize their people all over the world. Then our monies can come through one source and with one voice. I'm sure that's my contribution to Kuda. So let's start 2023. Soon after 26 March, let's go very hard like what we are doing now with 2023 donation. Thank you.
Thank you, James. My ask, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to Vincent, my ask is that we need all hands on the deck. I am looking for volunteers to come on board and work with us. Let's come on board and work with us. Those who think they've got something to offer, don't wait for somebody to come to you. Please DM us and tell us what you can do, what you can contribute. It does not have to be necessarily monetary form. We need all hands on the deck. Do not then think, oh, if it was me, I would have done this. If I was me, I would have done this. some of those things would have been missed by the train. So let's come on board and get this thing going. Vincent, it's your time to speak. Thank you, James.
Okay, good evening. I've been listening to Marco. I'm here in Joburg, and just maybe to find out what is the strategy regarding the diaspora and vote. I just saw a tweet. Is it Chinono? He was tweeting about how many people are here, especially in Johannesburg. And if you are to capitalize on those people here in South Africa, should I say, if you are to capitalize on the people that are here, we educate them, we encourage them to come down, register to vote, and come down actually and vote. I can see us beating ZANU PF, all systems out. Because the challenge now that we have is we have got people that are outside that are not voting. But people are here, people are being harassed. People, they are fed up with South Africa. They are fed up with ZANU PF. Here in South Africa, ZANU PF is causing a lot of confusion with this ZPE and all this stuff. We've got people at the workplaces who are so educated that can contribute much into the Zimbabwe economy. So my worry or my concern is, what is the strategy that is there regarding the people that are in South Africa, that are in Botswana, that are in Namibia, that are in Zambia? These are the countries that are just a few kilometers away from Zimbabwe. What is the strategy that is there to lure them to come down and vote? Do we have branches? Do we have people that are coordinating, that are encouraging these people to come down and register to vote? And in the long run, also push them to say, guys, let's go and vote so that we can make a change. People are talking about CCP. You are following CCP on Twitter. We are following CCP on Facebook. All the rallies that are happening, we are there. But we need that maybe communication to say we are here and we've got a direct communication with what is happening at home. And if we want to do this, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to coordinate A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so that all of us can come down and register to vote and make sure that we beat ZANU PF in all systems out. I believe there are about 500,000 people that are here. If we can convince at least 2/3 of that population to say, okay, guys, let's go and change our situation back at home, rather than for us to be treated like rubbish here in this country. Most people right now, they are willing because they are fed up with what is happening in South Africa. So what is the strategy that is there regarding that? Thank you.
My brother, that's a very difficult question for me to answer. I wish the leadership was here to share a view with you, but I'm sure if you've been following the rallies that our president has been speaking, he in particular, I don't remember whether it was Bulawayo or even in the Zimbabwe grounds, he mentioned about the Zimbabweans that are in South Africa. And he mentioned that he would like to work with everyone. He's appalled with the situation, and all this has been necessitated or caused by the ZANU PF, where every citizen wants to leave Zimbabwe because they are thinking, it's better to go and live outside their country because there's no jobs, there's nothing in Zimbabwe. So everyone is now like running away because of that. So I think that this is a collective thing that we need to find a way and say, guys, there is hope here with Triple C. And the hope is that if we all work together, we are going to create a situation where when things are okay at home, people will start coming back home because things will be okay. But before they are okay, somebody has to do something to get things to be okay. And how do we do that? The challenge is we need to make sure we register to vote. We need to make sure that we vote, and we need to also make sure that we protect our vote. So I think that those who are outside, like myself, I'm not in Zimbabwe. I'm in the United Kingdom. And because I'm not able to be home right now, my biggest thing is I have to do something. And what have I got to do? This is part and parcel of what I'm doing, to bringing everyone to a platform like this, or to a rally, or to a himbe, where we are saying, guys, let's make a plan. It is us who can make that plan and say, those who are near home, please, if you are able to go home and register to vote, please go and register to vote. Because come the time to go and vote, if you then go and vote, your vote is required. It makes a big difference. And people that are outside, they've actually seen how other countries are running their countries. They've also seen how we are not liked in the countries that we are living anymore, because people are saying there's too much of us. We should go back to our country. We should sort our situation there. So those are the challenges that we have. And I think with that, brother, we need to continue helping each other to find a solution. And the solution and the way forward is that we need to make sure if we are not able to vote ourselves, we encourage our families, our friends, our relatives to say, you know what, if you want $5 this time, I'm not giving you that $5. Show me the slip that you have registered to vote, and I give you that. That can go towards somebody who may have given up on voting, because right now we need everyone to vote, because that's going to make a big difference. We are going to Katadija. I'm sorry, pronouncing that wrong. It's your time to speak.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, and thank you, host, and everybody out there. Um, I just want to say that the main thing that's we should all be focused on right now is this golden shield. This golden shield is something that's going to protect everything that everybody's been sacrificing for. You know, right now we have the leaders, and I like that Kuda has been talking about the leaders and how they are operating. They are pretty much volunteers, really. You know, just think that they have families. Some of them have jobs. They have to do their jobs, and then if you look at someone like Fadzi, for example, she's a lawyer. She has to do a job, and then she has to be like a full-time spokesperson for the party. So you have like people like Cecilia, you have people like the president, you have people like Wendy. All these people, they have families, they have their own lives, but they've completely sacrificed and are working for us, the citizens. So we have to do something. We have to do our part and, make their efforts count. It doesn't make sense if we go to the by-elections and then the vote is not defended. And we've done all this work. We've had people risking their lives driving from all corners of the country to the next, and the election comes and then boom. Oh, sorry, we were not able to fund the agents. So, the biggest boost for everybody's morale is citizens and the leaders would, just to keep them going. Because, like you have people like Marco, he's looking forward to, victory in 2023. He's like, okay, I sacrifice, but takushika manje, takutoshika. So the biggest boost for everybody who's struggling and suffering is to just win this. Let's win something for the by-elections. Let's get a boost. Boo, 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 boo. Let's get a boost. Let's boost ourselves and everybody and guard this vote. Inina, I've already contributed. I've adopted a polling station, the contribution and ISA. And I know Kuti, there are so many my fundraisers, my rally. I always put something, you can say it's confusing, but ikana moyo wako uripo, it's not confusing. Moyo wako ngawukuthi lead to put something. Panenge pansi pakudiwa something. Kana only something isa Dora isa, kana tazopedza, kana taona kuti all our efforts have come to fruition after the by-election. Then we can say, oh, look what we did, guys. Let's do it again, 2023. Let's do it again. So, guys, let's just focus. I know we have all these questions, but then sometimes we get stuck in these little questions and everything, and then we miss the prize. Right now, the prize is to guard the the by-elections, Muswa 26. So everybody hands on deck. Ngatite izvozvo. And let's show the leadership that we're behind them. You know, they'll vakaona kuti tikusa effort ka ivo vanoitawo more, you know. And if we say we trust them, let's do our part, and ivo vanobaitawo their part, you know. So that's all I have to say. And you know, let's talk to everybody. Let's spread the word. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my sister there. Thank you very much. Can I ask that we share the link in our WhatsApp groups in anywhere and everywhere? Because if we do that, that's going to get attention of a lot of people. I got an inbox from one of the brothers there saying, imagine if 10,000 people pay $1, how much is that? That's 10,000 pounds, dollars. If 10,000 people pay $5, imagine how much that is. So I think where we want to go, if we really play our cards right, it's not going to be too strenuous or too stressful. We will get there. I'm going to go to Constantine Madembo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, citizens, and our vibrant hosts.
Thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning.
Thank you for affording me this opportunity to ask, I'll say hashtag Operation Golden Shield. My humble question is, where can I please donate my dollar?
Brilliant. If you go on the space, my brother, there is a link there. Just press on the link. It's as easy as ABC to do a contribution. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope it won't give me problems like last week when I was in the Birmingham fundraising and I ended up, talking to someone whom I then sent the money to, because the one which was on the link, it wasn't it wasn't accepting anything. Like my bank wasn't acknowledging the name on the account.
I see. Can I ask that you try to do it now while we are still on the space? Then you come back in a few minutes. We're about to close, but we wait for you to do your transaction, and then you come and tell us what you think after you've done that. To all those who haven't made their contribution, please just go on the top there. There is a link. Just get into that link and do your contribution. And before we finish, we are also going to give the last rundown of how much we would have raised. I think our next speaker is Chester. Go ahead, Brother Chester.
Hello, everybody. I'm really grateful to be able to speak to everyone, and I'm so excited that finally we've got citizens at the center stage of all this. I would love to congratulate and thank Kuda. You know, this brother, he's good. He's good. Let's just leave it there, because he puts effort and is very committed. The only thing I wanted to say is, I feel like, I was speaking to my mom in rural Mrewa. I said, Mom, look, we've got an issue here. I'm way away from you. We want to change. Please help us. And she's told me something that she never said to me. She's never voted ZANU-PF. She's almost 80 years old. And I say to myself, look, the problem is not people are not voting for us. The problem is we're not defending the vote. And I think all the resources and all the effort has to go towards defending our vote. And I'm so glad that you've come up with this golden shield. This is where we need to focus on. In as much as we want to print t-shirts, which is commendable, which is great, but the most important thing is defending that vote. Because people are really voting for change. People are really desperate for change, but we're not defending it. I hope and I wish that everybody can put as much effort towards We are not worried about people supporting change. The problem is they're stealing it from us. Let's focus on that. Let's put all the effort towards that. This is all that I want to say. And I'm going to put $50 after this. And Kuda, brother, you are amazing because you've got other issues you're dealing with. And I realized a few weeks ago or a few days ago, you were being challenged and people were saying nasty things about you. Forget about that. Don't even focus. Don't even reply to that. Focus, brother. You're doing a great job. I'm there in Zimbabwe in a few days' time. I hope I will see you. And please, citizens, let's focus on defending this vote. This is where the issue is. Defending that vote. They're stealing it from us. We need to make sure they will never, ever, ever, ever steal it from us. Good night, citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chester. Thank you there. I think the passion that my brother Kuda has for this, if you get a volunteer who works like Kuda, you can work things, With Kuda, it's just a question of saying, Kuda, what are we doing? We want to do A, B, C, D. You be like, okay, Washington, let's do this, let's do this. Oh, okay, Washington, let's do this, let's do this. And what else can you want from such? Those are the minds that we want. This is what I'm saying. Let's bring our heads together and do something. Thank you, Brother Chester. I think our next speaker is, I'm going to give you Pepo to speak. I'm not taking any more speakers, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to finish with the speakers that we have, and then we'll call it a night. And we'll be back again tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. We need to make sure we reach out there, good people. Let's reach out there. Let's talk to our friends. Let's share the link. We want to keep giving you an updates on what is happening. We are now on 1,450, and I know we can do better than that. But had we not done this, we wouldn't have found that 1,450 pounds. So thank you so much, those that have donated, and thanks to those who are going to donate as well in anticipation. I'm going to give you a chance to speak, Cole. Don't worry. Pepo, you can go ahead and speak.
Thank you so much for giving me time to speak again. I just wanted to say I've donated 300 pounds. Now, I was thinking if everybody could donate 300 pounds, if we are 300 people, it would be 90,000 already. So I was also thinking if we have got 7,950 people who just want to donate 20 pounds, we can reach 150,000 within no time. So don't we have people in our branches, wherever we are, to ask them to donate just 20 pounds or $20 each? Because this is so urgent that we can't wait until next week. We only have got 10 days, so we need urgent matters to address this. Thank you.
God. Pepo, my sister, you have set a very, very, very high pace there. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that she's just donated 300 pounds into the account? It's amazing. I really appreciate. Thank you so much on behalf of CC and the citizens. I think our next speaker is Cole. Cole, go ahead and speak.
Okay, thank you, host. Many big thanks to Kuda. I've known Kuda for a while now. We chat in the background, DM, and the way he ran the Fadzai Mahere campaign was really good, and it's great to have him on the CCC team. Right. I know Tafadzwa mentioned about a couple of issues, and one of them being a lot of fundraising campaigns running at the same time. There are reasons for that, obviously, but my concern is on the number of spaces that I've seen running at the same time, hosted by CCC people. This one is quite an urgent one, and I would have expected all the CCC cadres to be on this particular space, because we've only got 10 days left, and to give it that push. It would also have been a good idea to host one of the leaders, or maybe to rope in guys like Hopewell in the next couple of days, just to give it the audience that it requires. We also need to play our part, apart from contributing, to retweet Kuda's tweet. It's only got about 300 retweets, but with the urgency that it deserves, I think we should be hitting big numbers by now. I think that's my contribution, but thank you everybody else who's playing a part. I'll be playing my part through donation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother there. Thank you so much. I think our next speaker is D. Nyoni. D. Nyoni, would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, host. First of all, I just want to appreciate our brother Kuda for the work that he's been doing. And also, I want also to show my appreciation to Purple, who said she contributed 300 pounds. I'm really challenged. I'm going also to contribute, but not 300 pounds. I'd already contributed 10 pounds, but I'm challenged. I'm going to add on another 20 pounds. I just wanted to say, maybe let's just encourage each other to support and continue to donate. And also, let's just post on all WhatsApp groups and make sure that each and every one of us, a pound goes a long way. So I just wanted to say, guys, the job that you're doing is just amazing. I'm in Chester, I'm in the United Kingdom. I'm also trying to push. I always post on my WhatsApp groups and everything so that people can actually donate, especially now that we are faced by this by-election. We really need to win this. We really need to protect our vote. So I would also want to know if there are any structures here in Chester, maybe later on, so that we can meet up with people. We have a common goal is ours, and then maybe we can form a thing, and then maybe we can actually contribute more, because some people, they cannot just contribute from Norway. They really doubt, and they don't know what's really happening. So maybe after the 26 March by-elections, then people can start maybe just rearrange and make sure that we have to protect our vote in 2023. I do really appreciate all the work that is being done. Otherwise, that is my contribution. Let's just keep on pushing. A pound, 2 pounds, anything. I always tell people, my links, even a pound will always go a long way. So thank you, guys. That's my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the speakers who are going to speak, who are right at the top there to end our evening. But if we've got somebody who's challenged and feel they want to do a donation and say something about their donation, please let me hear from you. Thank you. I am going to my brother Chambi. My brother Chambi, you have the space to speak.
Thank you so much, Was. I just want to respond to my earlier concern that you and Kuda responded to. Actually, when I think there was when you answered me, you were saying the leadership is busy and everything, and I really understand that. If you look at the figure that was mentioned before, it was 2.1 million that needs to be raised, and if you look at what is in the pot right now, you discover that there's a deficit of around 3 million, which means you need around the next month that is left until next year. You have about a year left. It means that citizens have to push around 200,000 every month in order for us to meet that figure. So the reason why I mentioned leadership is that these are people that are brands, right? We might know Kuda, and for example, I'm going to be very honest that I've been joining spaces on Twitter, and I've noticed that the audience is almost the same people. And we are looking at maybe 1,000 people that are always jumping in between spaces, right? So already the pool that we are looking at, that we are trying to drive this message on, is the same people that are always on Twitter. It's just a small percentage, right? And let's be honest, colleagues, if you go and look at these fund pages, you see that the actual number of donors, most of them is 200, 300, 500 people, right? But how many more people do we have out there that are not on Twitter, that don't know about spaces, right? And these people are loyal Triple C supporters. For example, I have my own cousins that are not even on Twitter, that I tell them there's something that is going on, they go for. They say, oh, where? So how does leadership come in? Leadership comes in this way. You have a national championship as a brand. You have a Tendai Beat rather, who's a brand. Now you're going to leverage on their brand power. Ask them to do a video, a clip, which is under 2 minutes, for example, telling them or encouraging the followers to donate to a specific fund, give options of a GoFund, EFT, account deposit, whatever option it is available, right? So the power with Nelson Chamisa or Tendai BT or Rosman Yube speaking out is that they will reach the common man who's out in the street of Joburg. This message will reach someone who's in Botswana, and they will donate. Not everyone knows Kuda, not everyone knows Tafazwa, not everyone knows this Triple C diaspora. But the power of these leaders that they are known all over. You have a David Coulthard. We had friends in the former white community. If he does a video promoting a fund, this video was spread via WhatsApp, Facebook. You know, at the moment our spaces are only limited. Our fundraising is only limited to Twitter. We have our colleagues on Facebook that never come on Twitter, and they're in their thousands. And Facebook, if you look at it, is the most used in Zimbabwe by Zimbabweans than Twitter. Even most people that are in the diaspora, they are not on Twitter. So my point is, my thesis is this: if these leaders, with their branding power, are to do a clip for Triple C diaspora, encouraging members to donate into a certain account or via certain GoFund, you find also that you are going to get more money. I, for one, did some proposal that I said, you can get more money like this, right? There are other ways of us raising money. For example, I'll touch on us as citizens approaching the money transfer agents, going to them with the database of supporters to say, we have 200,000 supporters in our database that send money every time. So Mukuru, if these people send money to Zim, are you willing to give them a discount of 2%? Then we'll say, okay, if you sign up for the presidential fund, or if you sign up as a partner for Triple C, when you transfer money to Zimbabwe, you are going to get a discount of 1.5% from Mukuru. Or when you are a CC paid up partnership, you are going to get a certain discount from this funeral parlor for this funeral policy. In other words, we can go even further, but this thing is possible if we have a buy-in from those that have the branding power, those that are sitting with the big accounts. You know, it worries me that we have leaders that are above 100,000 followers, and we have hope of pushing more on the funding than them. I'm not saying I don't understand they have their lives. Like me, I have my own life also. Everyone is you all have your own lives, right? But I'm saying it doesn't take 10 hours to do a simple clip from them, especially from the Treasury General, who's David Coulthard. And then the man himself, Nelson Chamisa, is a big brand. Doing a clip to say CC Diaspora is our main fund for the 2023 elections. If we are going to be looking at crunching up big numbers, we need to be honest with each other. We need to go beyond what we're doing right now. And we need to go on Facebook. We need to be on WhatsApp. You cannot take this whole space and put it on WhatsApp. But a Nelson Chamisa video clip that is about 2 minutes, spreading on WhatsApp, giving people the link where they can donate, it will go a long way. And for us to say they are busy, we are at this juncture where we need to stop making excuses. Everyone plays a part. I've seen people hosting spaces every day. Salani, other day I was with her in a space. She has a kid had to wake up and say, my kid is up now, but she was dedicating her time. Let's stop making excuses for our leaders. They have to play their part. We are not asking them to be in every space. One clip that will circulate until next year from National Chamisa and that be to Osman Ngube can get us an extra 50,000, 20,000 every month. And we need to do that. We need to go there. And I'm so passionate about fundraising because I'm one of the person that really got disappointed in 2018 when I got calls from MPs that they didn't have agents. But we are saying what we're looking at, gentlemen, colleagues, is, ladies and gentlemen, is a big money. It's a huge money. It's a war chest. You competing against the ZNPF that is access to the Central Reserve Bank. But we have the biggest resource, we have the people. How do we make sure that we reach this person who's in Tangamvura, who is at $1 that he wants to donate? This person, the chance that 100% he knows national Chamisa. 0.0 minus 0.0% he knows Kuda, he knows Tafazwa, he knows CC diaspora. But if he hears national Chamisa saying, Van Ray, donate to this link, guys, donate to this link, they would donate. That's all I said. I think I just needed to emphasize on this point. And I think we need to stop making excuses. You all guys are working hard. CC diaspora, you could be doing something else, but you're hosting this space. Everyone is working hard. Everyone's putting in an effort to make sure that Zimbabwe goes right. The leaders are also putting in effort. They are driving to and from, back and forth. All we just need from them is a 2-minute clip. And I'll be happy. I can even send the clip to my own mom, like, you know what? Donate to whatever Nelson Chamisa is saying you have to donate to. That's what we need. And I'm going to say this again. I'm against having so many GoFunds. I'm against having so many different campaigns. As a finance person, for me, you need one bank account to know where you're taking your money from. You need. I'm one person who doesn't believe in audited financials. I'm in accounting. I'm in finance all my life, and I can tell you I don't believe in auditing because auditing they do a sampling. I believe in management account. If you have a fund that is going to be publishing management account, you have one fund publishing management account. Like in this month of March, we generated 60,000 US. We paid musicians for rallies 6,000. We paid venue hire 2,000. We paid for fuel for the party fuel $6,000. People will give more. People will need more updates. It's good language to talk of audited financials, but as a finance person, I will tell you that even me, if I'm going to do fraud right now, my financials will pass because I know they do a sampling. I'll just use the normal transaction and they won't check it. But this is only possible if you have one fund. This is why I emphasize on the need for having one fund. CC diaspora. If we have a rally today in Budiriro, a rally on Friday again in Langamfura, there's no need to have two rallies. Two funds for one rally for the same organization, addressed by the same person. Why can't then we have say there's a fund for rallies, there's a fund for election agent, at least, other than coming up with a fund for each and every rally? I think as Zimbabweans, we are smart. We can do better. We can be more organized. Let's not confuse each other. That is someone saying, I want $1 for Friday. Someone says, let's pay this for this venue. Oh, we are going to have a fund for Ricky Fire because he's in trouble with agents. We're going to end up having 100 funds, confusing people. I know Zimbabweans give. For one, in 2018, flighted some posters. I got 7,800 within 3 days from Zimbabwe. And I know these people have the power to give. But let's not be fragmented, colleagues. We need to be one. No matter the excuse, no matter how, if it's t-shirts, let it come under one fund. And this is why financial analysis comes in. This is why financial reporting comes in. To say, we have a fund running. We gave this money for venue hire, for t-shirts, for fuel. We can't say now, the way things are going right now, we are going to end up having a fund for t-shirts, a fund for posters. And that's why I'm saying we should avoid at all costs. And once again, and if there are any leaders listening right now, I'm not asking you to be in every space. I know this space you can drag for like 5 hours. All it takes for you to take your smartphone, do a clip, promote CC Diaspora Fund page, promote Kuda's page. We are done. That clip, we spread it over on WhatsApp so that it reaches even those that are not on Twitter. Twitter population for Zimbabwe is a small population. I've seen this in these spaces. It's the same people that jump from one space to another space. If we intend to reach those that are not on Twitter, we need to think outside of Twitter. Like, what can a video clip from Nelson Chamisa achieve for us, for our fund? We need to look at the bigger picture, and this is where I'm coming from. And once again, I think we are at the juncture where we need to stop making excuses for ourselves. Leaders have to play their part, citizens play their part. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much.
My brother, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know, this is one of the reasons why we are here, getting ideas and solutions to some of the ideas that are coming in on what needs to be done. And right now, you have said something that really makes a lot of sense. We will follow this up, and I really want to work with you as well. You know, thanks again. I'm going to go to our next speaker, who's London Bray. Would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Oh, yes. Hello.
Hi
Can you
there.
hear me? Yes, I was listening to the former speaker. You know, it was very fantastic that he came across and said very, very fantastic and interesting and valid points. If you know, at this point, um, I'm actually of the same mind. I just wanted, because all he said a lot really, and he touched on what I wanted to say. But I was just say this briefly. Yeah, there's one thing I just want to emphasize, that leaders, they must never be busy for their audience. That's very important, okay? Avoid for corporate health anyway. And the last thing you need, if you got a team, tell them that I've got no time for you. Everything goes wrong, okay? So, you know, I always enjoy some audiences with diabetes when it comes on, you know, on these spaces and some other leaders. But it is vital that the man himself reviews himself for at least 30 minutes to 5 minutes on these spaces once in a while. All right. And another thing I've discovered is that Zimbabweans, all of us, we got that heart to give, especially to a worthy cause of this kind. Last week I was talking to people in Harare. They want to donate their bond money and all these things, right? And all I could do was to point them to, you know, to Twitter and to other places, you know, where they can actually, you know, find, you know, someone to actually giving them money, or go to the local coordinators. But that's what I've done, because, you know, I'm nowhere near a kilons of power anyway. I'm just a nobody in a big house, you know. People are giving. I give as much as I can whenever I can. All right. So I can imagine that with the population of people who are enthused to want change in Zimbabwe, to be honest with you, if a motivation of over, let's say, argument's sake, 500,000 people, if everybody gives $2, it's $1 million US dollar, just like that. We can easily do this. But now the thing is this: let's get the people who matter to be our face. They need to come and be the face of the movement. The likes of, you know, President Chamisa, you know, Washman Ngube, Ebiti as well, Maher Fadzai. If they come and they do this advert, people share in their WhatsApp groups, in the, you know, on Facebook, that makes a big difference. The word busy must never be in our dictionary. Please, 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 if there are any advisors here to the president, please let him know that the word busy must be removed from his dictionary. Why do I say this? If he proves that he has got no time for us today, he will never have time for us anyway. All right? He needs to be there for us, to talk to us, to come and listen to us, right? And do the right thing. Yes?
Can I just speak over you there? Sorry. I just wanted to correct that narrative. Kuda is the one who went to see the leadership today. He went and they gave him time. But what he said, just to kind of like correct, I think the perception which is there, it's as if the leaders can't do this because they are busy. No. Kuda was saying, I went and saw the leadership. this leadership were so busy, guys. They are so busy. He was giving examples that they were going to all these rallies, sleeping in cars, and from one rally they're driving to another rally, and you see them at the next rally the next day. They're still as charismatic as they were. That is the busy he was talking about, not that they are busy for us.
Yes.
We've had
Yes.
so many leaders on this space, Tendai, Kotad, Fadzai, Job Scala, the Secretary General Wende, you name it. We've had many of them here, but
Yes.
I think with the fundraiser that we've got now here really requires a lot
Yeah.
more attention.
Yes.
We need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
bring them back, and I take on what my brother Chambi said and what you are also saying. The leaders have never said they are busy. One of the
Can I
reasons
finish, please?
one of the things that I was going to say is that I've spoken to a few leaders wanting them to come on today, but most of the ones I spoke to, they were having trouble with electricity, and that's why they are not on the space today. So yeah, you can.
Yes, the thing is this: it's not a witch hunt. We are a family, so we're talking as a family. We don't need to accuse anybody of anything here, but we're just making some corrective discussions to get things, to get everybody to be proactive. That's the bottom line. Because I'm not trying to accuse anybody here, right? Because we've been in this together, guys. You understand this. So the only thing is that everybody needs to pull together. And one other thing, I don't know whether you got a department which looks into advertising these things. Like what the brother has been saying. We just need to work through flat out just to get it. Because I was looking at this, on the base that we need over two million US dollars, and we don't have time. The best we can do is to raise something like, I don't know whether this is possible, 20,000 a month. I don't know whether that's possible. But if enough weight goes down, given that Zimbabwe at the moment, the regime we have, it's not flexible with CCC. They will close all formal channels of our money. So we need to actually devise probably, I don't know, but probably some clandestine way of actually contributing the money. A GoFundMe is one of them. And formal account and formal transactory bodies like Muku, I got misgivings. I don't know, forgive me guys, that they're hooked up to the regime, to feed the regime, right? So outside them, we need other ways of getting money into Zimbabwe for CCC. Because the truth of the matter is this, these guys will just come up with an SI tomorrow. You cannot actually get your money because it's foreign contributed. So we need to be careful with these things. We are fighting a silent war when it comes to these financial things, because they try to suffocate CCC by not giving them money, but they are actually supposed to get money from the government. So we need to understand what kind of an enemy, or if you like, or competitor we have, who is ruthless. At the end of the day, they can close up everything for us, and we cannot get the money where it's supposed to be. So we need to devise methods, but be able to account for it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we just need to devise methods. Pesika takudzokera kuchimurenga chekuma-70s chekuti mari yaiswa manewspaper achitambidzwa navanhu vachienda so, you understand, kusvika mari yasvika kwanofanira kuti isvike. Anoona, saka you need to look into that very close, because tikadependa panana mukuru nana western union guys katikwanisa kuvhaririswa mari handiunyepirai, because vanhu ava vari very ruthless. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much, guys. Okay.
My brother, thank you, my brother. We've taken on the contribution you have given us. I think we've got Chester. Chester, we said anybody coming here, they need to tell us what they have donated. How much have you donated, my brother?
Do you mean to me?
Chester, sorry. Chester, can you hear me?
Sorry, guys, I'm busy. I'll get back in a minute. Just go ahead.
Okay. Desire.
Hi, boss. How are you?
I'm fine. Talk to me.
Yeah, good. I've joined the thing, the donation for the by-elections, the airtime one.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that.
Cool. I'm seconding Chambi. Chambi, yeah, that one is a bullet that is being taught by Chambi that president should do like a TikTok which will be shared to all socials. It will reach anyone, even Kumushok. That was my contribution. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I'm going to go to my sister on Change Radio.
Thank you so much for that. I just wanted to share that I've donated £50, and I just wanted to applaud everybody else that's donated, including the sister who donated £300. So it's very inspirational. And what we are going to do going forward is just go into our networks. So networks outside of those that come to Twitter. I know someone touched on Twitter, and the fact that it's limited audience. But I think that in the situation that we're in at the moment and what we are faced with, 10 days to the by-elections in which the CCC as a new political movement are going to participate, is that we need to talk less and act more. And so we've spent a lot of time on this space with a lot of people, and I know it's appreciated, host. I know that some of those ideas are appreciated, but I think sometimes there has to come a point, and I'm going to be a bit controversial, there has to come a point when we just act and leave some of the talking to another time, particularly the references to the senior leaders and how the senior leaders are expected to do this and that. Yes, they have to lead, they have to role model, but we as citizens, as stakeholders in Zimbabwe, we have a stake in that country. We want the change. So it can't always be about them, because they do talk about it, they do role model, they do speak. And, Agenda 2022, if people were listening, people would not come onto this space and pick at the president and expect him to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the time. That message is clear for those who want to hear. And the message is act, donate, support the movement. That's the message. And so therefore, it's less of talking and more of acting and more of giving. As citizens, we need to take responsibility. We need to think about what the country looks like and where we want it to be, and just act. That's what we need to do sometimes. We need to also understand that leaders are under extreme pressure. They are operating in a high risk, dangerous environment. Their lives are at risk. We don't even know where they sleep sometimes. And then we come onto these spaces, instead of just doing what this space is meant to do, we have individuals that must pick at others all the time. I think I'm going to end here, but my key message and call to action is action, give, whatever you can. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you very much. Before I go to my sister Barbara there for your closing remarks, we've got James. I think he's put in $1,000. James, would you like to unmute and speak, please?
Thank you, co-host. I'm sure when I speak last time, I didn't remind you. I've just donated 1,000 rands on my branch, and still I have to go. We got a branch in Boxbeck, which I'm going to initiate to try and raise more funds that we still to donate this week. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, James. Your closing remarks, my sister Barbara.
Thank you so much, Brother Ali. I don't have much to say, save to thank all the people that have donated and those that are still going to donate. I know that link will still be there. We get monies at different intervals, and I know people love their country. People are going to donate. Thank you so much, citizens. This is about me and you. It's not about Chamisa. It's not about Wendy. It's not about BT. It's not about Welshman. That's the reason why you are seeing them sitting with the crowds, sitting in the sun with the crowd. They are now, it's like we are now at pi. We just gave them that mandate, the automatic mandate to live, to lead, but they're just citizens just like us. They're champions just like us. They are doing their part in Zimbabwe. Let's all do our part wherever we are. I'll always buttress on this one, Ali, to say we people in the diaspora, we are the game changers. The struggle that we are in, it needs me and you. It needs me and you to oil it. It needs you and me to make sure that we liberate Zimbabwe. Like I always like referring to the liberation struggle, how it was fought, how it was won. Maybe we have to have a space early, maybe to unpack the liberation struggle. And I think it is going to motivate a lot of people. Maybe we've got also the born phrase that do not know how a liberation struggle, first and second Chimrenga were fought and won. The people who were there, my experiences that we got, and the motivation that we got from this struggle. So I know everything is possible. We might not go to the bush. Our bush now is the ballot. So we have to do everything to make sure that the ballot is protected. The ballot is free from being rigged. So it's me and you who can do that. People in Zimbabwe that are doing their part. We are seeing them and we really appreciate. They are hardworking. We are here sitting freely. We don't have anything, any problems. So let's please try by all means to do our best. Thank you and good night, good morning, good afternoon. Thanks.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, my sisters. It's always a pleasure to have you there side by side with me, sharing with the citizens. I want to take this opportunity to thank the citizens who are here tonight sharing this space with us, where we are trying to, not trying, where we are actually working on Operation Golden Shield March by-election. I really want to thank you. And also, I want to thank those of you who are working on different funds for their country and say, please, let's keep fighting. The future is bright. The future is bright. Thank you, my brother Kuda, and leadership who were here earlier on. I know some were not able to come because of network issues. And I think we are going to run this fundraiser every day until the election. So we've got work to do. We need the results, and we are going to make sure that those results are achieved. And they cannot only be done by a few people. I know we are going to share this. A lot of people are going to come and listen to this recording. And with that, I say thank you very much. I'm going to put a small little song so that we can all go with that song in action. I want to try and see if I can get Kuda here and see if he can speak his last remarks. He was having trouble with network. I still can't add him. Anyway, thank you, brother Kuda, again.
Thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. This is Change Radio as usual. We will be giving you more updates to watch out tomorrow around 7 p.m. Zimbabwe time. We have another Twitter space where we will be discussing and doing this fundraising
programs. Also, I pinned the link to the fundraiser. You can click on the link if you feel like donating. You can click on the link and donate some money as you wish. The money will go towards the fundraising for the by-elections and also for the 2023 elections. I hope you had time to listen to the conversations as they proceeded. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much for looking up to Change Radio. This is Tarisai, and I am signing out. Thank you so much. Maybe I will leave you to listen to a song. If I can find one, then maybe I can play one song for you as you drop. But I appreciate, I thank you so much for tuning in to our program today. This program was so one of those programs where we get some insight of what's happening in the country. So for those maybe who are joining in, we just finished, and I'm going to play a song. When this song ends, then I'm going to close this live broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. Change Radio is your platform and to keep you updated. Please watch out for more. Thank you.
Vanambuya nana sekuru kumamisha nehama dzose dzisati dzaziva ndine shoko guru randinoda kubudzai neuso nchamisa wave nebato itsva iri dano rakatorwa mushure mekunge paonekwa kuti zita reMDC rakange rasvibiswa nemhandu ng'onzo rakomichina nakupe nevamwe. Saka kana mave kuzoenda kunovhota munofanira kucherekedza kwazvo chiso chachamisa nemasi matatu pamwe neruvara rwemabhanana. Votera Nelson Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai paruvara rwemabhanana. Voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai paruvara rwemabhanana. Musanyengedzwa nebato rezanu, muchipiwa mbeu nefotereza. Tinoda bato rinounza mabasa, kuti mugozvitengera mega zvamunoda. Bato rezanu rauraya nyika, muzere mbavha dzinoba zvikuru. Vanongozvifunga ivo vega, mhomo yenyika ichikangawaya. Kana vouya kwamuri vanonyepa, kuti masanction hauraya nyika. Nyamba varivo vanouraya nyika, nekuda kweuori hwavanoita. Votera Nelson Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai paruvara rwemabhanana. voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu, voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai paruvara rwemapanana.